parade. In the circus, choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Okay, let me swallow. Hello.
Lovely. What a good line. You don't look used to swallowing.
Shut up.
You're struggling.
So before we get into today's topic, tell me about like your diet. I'm gonna tell you about what mine is now. But I know that you changed it.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, I did. Oh God, I did the lion diet for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then, because it's, I mean, I know that there's some people that are like, they claim to do the lion diet long term. And I just realistically don't think that that's healthy. But I mean, if you do it and if it works for you, that's fine. I don't think it's sustainable for most people. And you're struggling to get energy, especially if you're doing, I mean, if you work out, if you want to maintain muscle mass, the amount of meat that you'll have to eat to get the amount of fat that's going to give you the energy to be able to work out properly is just, it's calorically insane. So I did the 6 weeks of the lion diet. Oh, and also, by the way, yeah, you get sick of eating. That's the problem with it. You genuinely get sick of eating. I love meat. I'm a carnivore through and through. But I was getting sick to shit of eating food because you're not allowed any seasoning, nothing. Like, it's literally just ruminant meat. So like beef or lamb or like, well, pretty much venison, I think, is the only other one that you can really have. And salt and water. So no seasoning, no oil, no butter, nothing to cook it in, no fat to cook it in. You just cook it in its own fat. And you get genuinely sick to shit because you lose all craving for food after about day 4 or day 5. Because, like, there's no flavor in what you're eating other than just meat. And then after a while, you get sick of that flavor. So when you lose the craving, you only eat when you're hungry. So if you're doing shit tons of training, your body takes a little while to realize you need energy, so you're hungry. For a while, like, you wonder what the fuck it is. So you crave other foods, but then eventually you're like, okay, I need energy, so we need to eat some food. But because you can't snack on something high fat, you have to just eat more meat. So you're getting more of the protein, more of the fat. And if you're looking to kind of like maintain muscle mass, like I said, or build more muscle, the amount of steaks you're going to have to eat, and it has to be high fat, because you don't want to be consuming more protein than fat, because you can get, well, like I said, protein poisoning. It's just not sustainable. It genuinely really isn't sustainable. So after that 6 weeks, I transitioned into a modified carnivore diet. So like when I say modified carnivore diet, like carnivore usually you'll eat, like, as well as meat, any products that come from animals, and you'll usually stay away from anything that doesn't come from animal. But with modified ones, like, you can have certain things like certain spices, herbs, certain veg, but you're trying to aim for it to be stuff that's very, very low carb, so you consume less than 20 grams of carbs per day, so that you stay in ketosis, so that diet works for you. And the idea is that because it's a high fat and then also kind of high protein diet, although you're consuming loads of fatty cuts of meat for the energy, you're not putting on fat because your body's burning fat rather than carbs for energy. And it's cool. It works great. Quite a few other people tried it after I tried it. Teriak was the one who kind of finally motivated me into trying it. And yeah, like you save a ton of money. Like you don't really need protein powders and shit like that. You get more than enough protein from the diet itself. And it feels good. You got great energy levels. You're eating fatty foods, delicious foods. It's healthy fats, but at the same time, you're losing weight, or like you're maintaining weight, depending on like what situation you're in.
Yeah, I did that like a couple years ago. I did complete carnivore, like lion diet type thing, because Michaela Peterson, all that stuff. I had like all these weird symptoms, and I'm like, maybe this will be it. And while I did feel better, I still it wasn't like enough for me to like move the needle, I guess.
In what way?
Because I was already eating very healthy. So it wasn't like I went from the standard American diet or like from eating sugar to like not eating sugar. So I didn't have, like that big change that people have when they go from eating like a bad diet to a healthy diet, because I was pretty healthy. I just eliminated even more. So like,
Right.
It wasn't, there was no before and after photo like I dreamed. Like I dreamed of.
Well, so for me, when I started, the reason why I started was because I had I had an ankle injury and a shoulder injury, and the shoulder injury was kind of like radiating pain to my neck and to my back, and because of that, I had to change my training. And I decided initially, before I tried the diet, I decided that I was going to go from strength training, from powerlifting. I wanted to go into just kind of like maintenance, kind of lower weights, just maintain muscle mass. And when you go and do that, especially if you have an injury and you have to kind of take it easy, and you're doing most of the time in the gym, you're spending doing physio rather than actually kind of like lifting properly.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that it wasn't going to really be like maintenance. I knew I was going to lose some muscle mass. And the shoulder injury took a lot longer to sort out than I thought it was going to. The ankle injury compounded it. And I know that when you go into losing some muscle mass, especially if you change the way you lift and you go into like lower weight, when you lose that muscle mass, quite often your body fat percentage is going to increase. Most people, it's very hard for them to start eating less when they're still in that mindset of training. And my body fat percentage at the time when the injury was at its worst was around about something like 18 to 20%. When that was really bad. And I went from training 6 days a week to training about 3 or 4 days a week. And I also, the ankle pain started kind of turning into like a plantar fasciitis type of pain as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fucking bad. So one of the videos that Teriak sent me, people were actually talking about like the inflammation, like how inflammation goes down, and pain, things like plantar fasciitis, knee pain, back pain, all that. A lot of people like swearing like this stuff all goes away. I shit you not, by day 2 or 3, the plantar fasciitis pain was gone.
Mm.
It was gone completely. I woke up, no pain. It's like zero, not even like a little bit. I couldn't believe it. I was moving my foot around, like wondering, like, what the fuck? Now, initially, like you'll find like a lot of the pain goes very quickly. Then later on, it might come back a little bit, but then it gradually tapers off again. Don't know why, not quite sure. But after like a week and a half, it came back, but then it went away again.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the work that I do, I use my hands a lot. We use like chemicals, like stripping chemicals and gloves and shit like that. But a lot of people get contact dermatitis.
Yeah.
I had contact dermatitis. It got really bad. It flared up. It went into like a kind of eczema thing, and I had it like on my hands and fingers, and I was controlling it like at its worst, I was using steroid creams, which is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, after a while, after long-term use, like you probably know, like your skin gets very glossy and dry, like and like almost not paper thin, but like it feels pretty thin. And people say like that's never going to get better. That doesn't get better. Like those people use steroid cream 20 years later, their skin is still like that.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped using steroid cream like about 16, 17 years ago. And my skin always kind of stayed like that. Like you get very prone to kind of like in cold weather, like your skin cracking and splitting no matter how much moisturizer you use. Since doing the carnivore thing, that's corrected itself. Like within about a month and a half, it corrected itself. Like everything just feels generally better. Like the shoulder pain was getting better, the back pain was gone, the knee pain was gone, everything, like all this inflammation shit just goes.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing is that you got to be sensible when you start reintroducing foods. When you start reintroducing certain foods, like you'll know straight away if something doesn't feel right. Because if anybody does do training, and if you have to like eat for your training, especially protein, especially fiber and stuff like that, a lot of times with the amount of food you have to eat to be able to sustain like your muscle mass and to be able to like have the energy that you need to train, when you eat, you feel bloated. You feel like lethargic after you eat. Like, so like after you do your training, you'll have your food, and sometimes you just feel like you can't move, you can't do anything. Sometimes you feel like your food's like right up, you know, up in your chest cavity. You feel like really, like I remember when I had to eat like fucking 4 or 5 turkey breasts and like God knows how much like eggs and shit like that. Like you feel fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You like hours later when you go to bed, sometimes you still feel like you can't sleep properly. With carnivore, I eat about on the hard training days, 2.5 kilos of meat a day. And I never feel full. When I say never feel full, like you feel satisfied. You don't feel hungry. You don't have hunger pangs. But you don't feel like there's anything in you. The food just feels like it goes like nothing sits on you. You always feel like, you know, energetic, ready to go. You don't feel bloated, like zero bloat. And one of the first things I noticed, you sleep great. And when you wake up and you don't feel tired. There's none of this like, oh, my alarm's gone off, I'm going to snooze it. You wake up, you feel ready to go. Like energy is great. It's really good. It really is a fucking good thing. And although I lost muscle mass, I decided that I wasn't going to go to the gym for the 6 weeks that I was doing carnivore. I said, I'm going to lay off the gym because this is like a body conditioning thing. I want to know what my energy levels are like. I want to know what I feel like. I'm just going to do my physio. That's it. And I lost not a shit. Looks wise, it didn't look like a lot, but weight wise, yeah. I lost in the first 6 weeks about 25 kilos, which is a lot. Like I don't know what that is in pounds, but
a million.
No. It's like, I don't know, roughly 50-ish, I think, pounds.
Damn.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm like 6'9" and I'm like broad shouldered. I'm big. Like I said, I was about 18 to 20% body fat.
You're like 7 feet tall.
I'm like 6'8", 6'9".
That's ridiculous. Go on.
But yeah, like, you know, I mean, I've played rugby nearly my whole life.
Yeah.
And did like, yeah, I mean, I did a lot of like grappling martial arts, and I did stuff that you need strength for. So I did like powerlifting. So I was always like a big lad. But yeah, I weighed about 150 something kilos, 100, like after the injury,
Mhm.
when I went up from about 16% body fat to about 18 or like between 18 to 20, I was about 162, I think, at the heaviest. And yeah, so then after the lion diet, I was down to about 130-ish. And like my body fat percentage went down to less than what I wanted it to be. It was around 12-ish. And I wanted it to be around lowest, like 15. So, because like, if it goes too low, then you've got issues with like your T levels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, it's, like, yeah, the muscle mass came down quite a bit, but like the body fat came down more. So like, although like you lose like some muscle tone, if you're worried about looks and stuff, like you're going to get pretty shredded looking.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like, sorry, motorcycles outside. Yeah, you're going to have to, if you do that diet, if you're looking to like kind of stay in shape, look good, you're going to have to struggle to get enough fat in the diet, because like fat will be falling off you. As long as you maintain your carbs, keep your carbs under 20 grams a day, drink plenty of water. You're going to want to drink plenty of water, especially if you do the lion diet. You're going to be craving water all the time. But yeah, it's like you're going to see that like the fat melts off you. You have a lot of energy. You feel really good. And just to be on the safe side, I'd recommend getting a ketone meter. Check your ketone levels throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell you what I did, because I did the lion. It did not help me lose a single freaking pound. Nothing. And I did it for 6 months. Nothing. For 6 months. The only thing I will say that I noticed is I didn't have to brush my teeth. I brushed my teeth because you just do it, but there was no plaque at all.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
zero plaque.
You
And
don't
I
have
was
loads
like,
of shitty minerals like that you don't
Yeah.
need. Yeah.
there was nothing in my teeth. They're just like freaking perfect. Like that's the only thing that the only real benefit that I personally got for the lion diet is just like my freaking teeth were like amazing. Never felt any plaque, never had to floss, nothing. It was just crazy good. But as far as sleep, I didn't get the benefit from sleep. I still had trouble sleeping. I don't have a problem with like being hungry, so I can be in a calorie deficit if I need to be. So I'm not like, because I was one of those people who were like, traditionally hyper skinny type people my whole life until I had kids. So like I'm used to like, being a little ADHD doing stuff so that you forget to eat, or like you'll be mid meal and then you just kind of like lose interest in eating and you get up and do something else. So that's the reason why I personally was so skinny. I remember like ordering stuff and I'd be talking so I wouldn't eat as much, and then it would get cold and then it didn't taste as good, so I had less and then I went to do something else. So that's the reason why my whole life I feel like I was skinny. But when you get the metabolic dysfunction from the stress and having kids and stuff like that, like then like the thyroid was affected, the digestion kind of stopped, the cortisol levels went, and then the not eating, the calorie restriction, the lion diet, that stuff wasn't enough for me personally with those comorbidities to actually lose weight. So one thing that I did was what I'm currently doing. So I started getting raw milk because I heard like the raw milk has all this, extra probiotics and enzymes that you don't have with the pasteurized garbage that they sell at the store. So I started getting raw milk. I've been doing it for about 3 weeks now. Raw milk in my coffee, and not heated up because you want to keep the enzymes. So it's not like super fun, but whatever, you do what you got to do. But I've also been because the raw milk is right next to the raw cream. So I'm not going to leave that on the shelf. So I get the raw cream and I'm like, oh, I want to eat this raw cream. It's only good for like a week or so. So like I would put a lot of heavy cream and it comes out thick like a blob. Like the stuff at the store is watery. When you
Yeah.
see the real stuff, you're like, what the heck was I eating? What is this shit at the grocery store? So I put like this glob of cream comes out. And then I got this honey, and I've been talking about this before. It's from Lineage. Like the Paul Saladino guy that, the whatever, that he was like an MD. He made that the Carnivore Code book.
Right.
So he has a honey, like a brand that has coffee and honey and some other crap. And I like his honey. It actually tastes like honey, like when I was a kid. Because I go to like the farmers markets and get the quote unquote organic, raw, whatever wild bullshit honey. It still tastes fake to me. I'm sorry. It has like a weird, it's not the same. It's not good. So when I had this honey, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what the honey was. It used to be like, it used to taste like this. So now I'm having that, mix a lot of honey. I'm not saying a little bit of honey, a lot of honey. And I'm mixing it with, yes, it's delicious bee vomit. I'm very happy with it. I mix it with the heavy cream, mix it. It's delicious. I put some the cassia cinnamon because that's good for your blood sugar. And then for the coffee part, I mix that with real like maple syrup, the good kind. And that has a lot of minerals. And so I have that. So it's a lot of maple syrup, a lot of honey. This particular brand, I do not like Manuka honey. I think I'm saying it
Manuka.
right. Manuka honey. Yeah. Manuka honey. I don't. There's a lot of fake stuff. There's a lot of controversies with it. They make it very expensive, but it's not always what it says it is on the bottle. So you have to be careful with that. And this one, I'm telling you, is even better. Like this one is amazing because it's real. It just tastes real. I don't know how to explain it. Until you have it, you can't really explain it. So I mixed that. Maybe it's also, no, I think it's, yeah, maybe it's because it's in glass. Maybe that helps because a lot of the farmers market, they still put it in the stupid plastic crap. Anyway, so this one tastes amazing. So I mix that. Of course, I get my mold-free coffee, the Danger coffee, because they add the fulvic and humic acid, whatever it is, the minerals into the coffee. And I swear it tastes better. So I have that. That is my like cold coffee. And I'm telling you, we check the blood sugar afterwards. It doesn't even move.
Yeah. I mean, so what I was going to ask you is when you said that
What?
you didn't find any benefits, was that from doing carnivore or particularly the lion diet?
The lion diet.
And when you did the lion diet, what were you eating?
I was eating grass-fed, grass-finished beef and
Right.
béarnaise, like, the raw butter with tarragon. I added tarragon and salt, sea salt, whatever the salt. That's pretty much it. So I was having like steak and béarnaise every day.
Any other stuff, like any other sauces, any other side dishes, salads, anything, spices?
No. Tarragon was my only spice. I needed something for flavor.
Right. So, and what did you cook it in? You said cook it in butter.
Yes. Or ghee.
Right. Ghee. Right. Okay. So like the thing is that if you're having like béarnaise sauce, right? Like you're adding stuff to the lion diet that you shouldn't really be doing. Like it's literally just supposed to be meat, salt, and water.
Oh, well, I mean, I did that for a month and it like nothing happened. So I said, to keep going, I added the sauce. But there was still no difference. I'm telling I tried it all. Like I've been doing this for like 10 plus years. So I tried all the diets. Like when Michaela Peterson first went on Joe Rogan to talk about the lion, like she was just having meat and salt. That's when I started doing it. And that wasn't like for me, my thing. I'm
Right.
not saying I'm 100% sure most people who eat regular food, including all the vegetables, because all the vegetables now, unfortunately, all the vegetables are mineral and vitamin empty,
Deficient.
and they're full of deficient, and they're full of glyphosate and other equally or more toxic pesticides, and it's not what it used to be. And they used to say like an orange had X amount of vitamin C. Now it has like a tenth of that. You would need
Well, that
10,000 oranges.
the problem is that whatever benefits, even if you have a good amount of vitamin C,
Mm-hmm.
or any other kind of stuff, like if you're looking at tomatoes, if you want like vitamin D, if you want whatever, like any of those vitamins, any kind of minerals, any kind of benefits that you think you're going to get from your fruit and veg, is massively outweighed by fruit
the sugar,
sugars. Like even if like people like, oh look, soak it in apple cider vinegar mixed with water and it will strip any stuff, any of the chemicals on it. Even if that's true,
yeah.
it's just not worth it. Most fruit, most vegetables is going to have lectins in it. It's going to have sugars in it. It's going to have carbs. That's the problem. Like literally every single fruit. I think the lowest carb fruit is watermelon.
Mhm.
And even that, if you have 2 cups of watermelon in a day, which most people would eat way more than 2 cups of watermelon if they want some, you're still going to be past your carb limit. And like the thing is that, I mean, the main thing is, if you want to feel good, genuinely stay the fuck away from carbs. People are talking about like sugar's bad for you. Sugar isn't bad for you because of sugar being bad. Sugar's bad for you because it's carbs. Carbs are bad for you. Honestly, they are so fucking bad for you. And people are like, oh, you need some for brain function. Yeah, you only need a tiny bit. 20 grams, which your body's going to burn through. And then the rest of the day, our bodies are built to burn fat for energy. That's the problem. We're not using our body. We're not fueling our body the right way. All of these processed foods, all of these fruit and veg, which everybody's saying you should eat it. Oh, you want to be healthy? Become a vegan, become a vegan, become a vegan. You are not built to digest vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
You're not built to digest veg. And be like, oh, but there's vitamins and minerals we need from it. Yeah, we used to get that from eating animals that would eat veg. And they've got 4 fucking stomachs that can digest that veg. Why do you think that most people, when they've got really, really bad issues, like bad digestive issues, and they say, oh, you need to do the FODMAP diet, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to watch what you eat. Why do you think the most veg that you eat just comes out of you completely undigested? Because you can't fucking digest it.
Mm-hmm.
You one stomach isn't going to digest all of that shit. So even if you eat that stuff and you go to the doctor and he's like, oh, you're low in iron. How the fuck am I low in iron? I eat kale all the fucking time and spinach. Yeah, because you're not absorbing it because your body doesn't digest it. Like you think you're getting enough of the vitamins that you're supposed to be getting from these foods, but your body isn't absorbing them because you're not even breaking the food down. And then the more veg you eat, the more digested. Why do you think that nobody on this planet looks as fucking unhealthy as a vegan? I've seen kids stage 4 cancer and they look healthier than a fucking vegan. Moby looks like a kid who should have died 20 fucking years ago. And people are like, oh yeah, I'm vegan, I'm healthy. Yeah, of course you're healthy. Of course you're healthy. You look like you've got fucking muscular dystrophy. These people, they're just so fucking unhealthy. They talk about, look, I'm so compassionate. I care about animals. I'm not going to eat them. I eat only vegetables. I'm a vegan. I don't even wear animal fur. And like, great. Okay. You know, you look like you're going to die. You look like a gust of wind would kill you. So yeah, you're not supposed to live like that.
Okay, so there's another new biohacking thing that's coming into the space, the health space, and that is the whole how light and your body like intermingle, and how like being light toxic and or not getting the right amount and the right spectrum of lights at the right time, what that does to digestion, how the different like climates, different times of year affect your digestion and how you can process things. And I don't know enough about that to like fully speak on it yet. So I want to do some more research and maybe do it like next week or whatever. But like what I'm learning now is that there is a link between what you can eat and the amount of light that you're getting. And also like your circadian rhythm obviously is turned on and off by light. Your histamines can get lowered. Like my problem, one of my issues is that I get high histamines before my period, which causes migraines. And before I was like on top of my diet, it also would cause cramps and whatever. So like all of that was histamine related. But what lowers histamine? Getting lots of sunlight, which is the one thing I was told not to do because like, oh, I don't want to get wrinkles, don't want to age, or like there's too many fun things to do inside like the computer, the whatever, or like I want to do stuff inside. And like, you know, you don't go outside the whole day. And if you don't go every single day outside, your circadian rhythm is going to be off. And especially for women are just like way too delicate. Everything has to be freaking perfect for a women's body to be optimal. That's why like shift work damages women so much more than men. They need to like wake up and go to sleep, you know, almost like with the sun. But of course, with modern society, we don't do that. The next thing is in winter, you get less light from the sun, but your vitamin D shifts to, I don't know, like, I don't remember. I didn't like write down notes on it yet. I'm still like working on that episode, but your vitamin D shifts to like work in a different way. So like instead of getting it from the sun, I think it gets it from like maybe like meat or something like that. I don't remember.
You get it
something else. And in the summer, or when you're getting like a lot of good sun all day, then your body can process carbs with no problem. So if you live in the tropics, like let's say you go to like Miami, right? Here it's tropical as hell. The sun is blaring all the time. If you're actually outside, like look at all the crackheads, 6-pack abs. They look healthier than all the desk jockey workers.
That's because of the crack. That's because of crack, not sun.
No, it's not the crack. It's the sun.
It's the crack. Come on.
No, and like we have beautiful crackheads here. Just tell you, there's like this trend on TikTok that I got sucked into one time where it was just like women who are like comparing the high earning like lawyers, whatever, at a firm to like these beautiful broke crackheads. And they're like, look at this body, and then look at this guy who's indoors all day body. It's like, geez, this is a hard decision. Do I want to be broke but look at that, or do I want to have a good life but look at that? And
this
like,
is why women are fucking stupid.
Bro, guys also like beautiful women. People like beautiful things.
Yeah, but if they're like, oh, hey, look at this like high value girl who just looks gorgeous, and now look at this other girl who's a fucking meth head, but she's got like a 6-pack really toned up, but you wouldn't give a fuck.
It wouldn't be like, look at this meth head chick. It would be, look at this crackhead chick with like what's it called, the hourglass, big boobs, little waist.
Yeah, it's got awesome body. It doesn't matter that she fucking has no teeth. She looks awesome.
Exactly. It's like that's kind of a win too if she doesn't have teeth for a guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so moving on. So when you're in a tropical climate or during summer, you can process carbs more efficiently and use it for energy more efficiently. You're going to get your vitamin D from the sun, and it's like optimal. That's why a lot of these biohacker types are moving to places like Costa Rica and Miami, like a lot of them, because this is the best place to get sun and like high quality sun. Like we can get like all the good spectrums of sun that is like healthy. I have my little D-Minder app, and it tells me, because I just started doing this because like I started like watching, you know, information on like how the light works. There's also this Dr. Jack Cruz. He has this whole book. I got it and I'm started looking through it on the sun, the frequency or the rays or whatever, and what they do to the body and how they turn things on and off. So different times of year or different places.
At different times of day.
Yeah,
like,
different times of day.
Times of year, like throughout like October to March, like February, March, you're not going to get vitamin D from sunlight. You're just not. It's because it's about the relation of the distance of the sun to the earth as well. So even times a day, if it moves out of like that space, like the wavelength of the light isn't going to actually trigger vitamin D production in your body. So like the time of sun that you want is, again, talking about how the government doesn't want you to be healthy. When they told us stay out of the sun at this time of day, what time did they say?
Midday.
Yeah.
No.
They said midday.
That's the best time.
That's the best time for getting sunlight. 11 a.m. until about 3 p.m. That's when you're going to have that frequency of light that's going to cause optimal vitamin D production. Before that or after that, it falls off dramatically. You're going to have pretty much, you could be out there, the sun could be blazing at 5 o'clock. It could be blazing.
That's for you guys.
You're not going to get vitamin D.
My app.
Anywhere on earth.
No, honey child. No, I can get amazing vitamin D. My app is like, oh, you're in Miami, great. You have 8 hours, especially in the summer, where you can get your vitamin D. It literally tells me like, keep going, like, you know, there's more. And like I can reach my vitamin D levels very, very quickly for the day. And I have recently started.
You only need about half an hour or so. You only need about half an hour. Your body's not going to produce more after a certain amount of time.
Okay, you guys have to stop believing in the skin cancer from the sun bullcrap. That is if you do not have a solar callus. We'll get into that later, but a solar callus is when you build up tolerance to the sun. That requires your eyes tell your skin how much melanin to produce to protect you from the sun, right? And it can only tell you that if you don't have anything covering your eyes. So if you're wearing something covering your eyes, the light isn't going into your eyes, which tells your body don't protect yourself. And that's why people are getting problems. So do not wear sunblock. Stop wearing toxic sunblock. Absolutely stop. If you want to use a zinc oxide, they call it physical sunscreen. It's not like the chemical one, whatever, that causes cancer, by the way. Chemical sunscreens cause cancer. They lied to you. As always, like that's not new. You could put the zinc oxide on your face. If you don't want wrinkles on your face and you think that it's going to cause wrinkles on your face, fine, put it on your face. But your body needs sun and it cannot get it through a window. It cannot get it if you're covering your eyes. You need to take your contacts out. You need to take your glasses off, everything. And then you need to go out there and build a tolerance that could be as little as 10 to 15 minutes per day until you build a tolerance. And that's it. And like you'll be able to go into the sun and you won't burn. So my cracker ass husband, when we started looking into this stuff years ago, I could not even do a YouTube because my eyes were so light toxic from wearing sunglasses in Miami. Like my whole life, I've been wearing big ass sunglasses because I thought like, oh, you're supposed to do that. There's all of this stupid propaganda that if you don't wear sunglasses, you're gonna like go blind or some garbage. And it's completely the opposite. It's like if you're staying inside, not getting proper sun, or if you get blaring sun out of nowhere, like let's say you're driving and the sun is coming directly into your eyes, coming through the glass, first of all, so you're not getting beneficial rays, you're getting bad rays. Then you would put the sunglasses on only for driving towards the sun. That is it. Period. Build up your tolerance and you'll be fine. Now I can open my eyes in the sun. you know you're light toxic if it's a sunny summer day and you go outside and you can barely open your eyes. That is your body screaming. It cannot adapt. It's maladapted to your environment. So you need to adapt yourself again. We need to go back to realizing that you were not created to need sunscreen, to need sunglasses, to need like all this bull crap. Everything that they told you that you need to be quote unquote healthy, they're just trying to sell you a product. And a lot of time these products cause problems. So then they can sell you another treatment or product down the line. So please be very careful when someone tells you you are not naturally capable of dealing with things. That's always needs to be a red flag. Listen, Hooker, I wear makeup because I make the makeup. Skink.
The chat's been going off though.
Okay, let's see. Oh, Damon left. He'll come back. He's oh Jesus. You guys are ridiculous. Do not feed Simperius.
Jessica saying, imagine telling a redhead not to wear sunblock.
Okay, this is the thing. I dated a redhead and he did not need sun protection if he got used to being without his glasses. The thing is, he needed reading glasses. And of course, reading glasses block that spectrum of light to tell your body to protect itself. But when he just stopped wearing them, I don't know why, because we didn't know any better. When he just stopped wearing his glasses, like he just was like, I'm outside, it's the summer. He had a pool and he lived on a lake and all that stuff. So he had a really beautiful like backyard for us to like hang out in. So like we were in the sun a lot. When he just stopped like putting his glasses on and didn't wear any sunglasses or nothing, he didn't burn as much. It was like crazy because
I love how you say as much. He didn't burn as
well,
much.
He didn't actually burn, is what I'm saying.
I dated a redhead and she nearly caught fire when we stepped out into the sun.
Okay, but
Seriously,
she didn't have a solar callus. It's different.
Oh God.
It's probably like the first time she's been outside and she died. Excuse me, this was high school. He was broke. He didn't even have a job. Thank you. How am I a gold digger because his parents could afford a lake house? He's broke now, by the way.
Is that because nobody will hire him because he's ginger?
It's because, I don't know. Actually, we should ask Randy. He's ginger too. Gingers, yes. Gingers have a lot of discrimination, you guys. Need to be nicer to gingies. Oh my God.
Ginger girls are fucking wild. They're amazing.
They have like a very high pain tolerance too.
They are so filthy, Kat. They are, oh my God, filthy on a mythical level. I did things that even made me blush. Even I was like, this seems wrong, but okay, we'll try it. And they're really entertaining.
Wow, even like racist Imperius doesn't like redheads. That's the line he draws. He's like, I like them white girls, but not that white.
They got to be the right kind of redhead. The redheads with the nice looking freckles, like the grayishy darker freckles rather than the orange freckles, you know?
There was this hot ginger girl that she was like an OnlyFans girl before like there was OnlyFans. So I think she was like a webcam thing, but she was like a mom of 3, but she had a smoking hot body and a beautiful face.
Single mom?
Yeah.
See, filthy, I told you.
Hot. And she wanted like sexy photos when I was doing photography. And like, I was just like, I wanted money. So I'm like, okay, I'll do sexy photos. But this chick was freaking amazing.
You were doing sexy photos?
I was taking photos of her. Yes.
Oh my God, you're an enabler.
Look, first of all, I needed money.
You're like the OnlyFans pimp.
I wasn't making enough to be a pimp. Pimps make considerably more.
Yeah, you had to work. Well, you should have worked your whores harder, Kat.
I think she actually did have a pimp.
Yeah, you.
No. But anyways, I only took pictures of her once, and then I started doing family.
I was gonna say before marriage causes divorce, I was gonna say Christina Hendricks. Christina Hendricks, oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. Back in the what was that show? With the ginger dude as well, where he was a cop that got arrested for a crime he didn't commit. I can't remember the fucking name of the show.
No.
Shit. She was also in Firefly. She was fucking good in that.
Firefly. I remember Firefly. I don't remember Redhead.
Yeah, she was actually a whore. She was a whore in it.
Morena?
What? No, not Morena Baccarin. That's Christina Hendricks was also another whore in the show.
Oh, I don't remember.
There was a lot of whores in that show. There was an episode literally where they landed on a planet where there was a brothel when they had to save all the whores in the brothel.
Dude, Simperius, I don't know what kind of weird, sick stuff you have in your head, but that's not how the real world works.
So shit, I'm trying to remember that show. It was with Damian Lewis. Damian Lewis was like this kind of Zen detective dude, and she was she was actually going to be his mother-in-law. I can't fucking remember the name of the show, but it's a good show. Anyway, fuck.
It's fine.
But who are other hot redheads?
Is that what we're talking about today?
Let's talk about hot redheads.
Okay, speaking of hot redheads, let's talk about Pearl.
Oh, that chick from oh no, she's kind of suffering now though. She always struggles with her weight. She ballooned.
Who?
The chick who was in Jurassic World.
I don't know.
It's so sad. If you watch Jurassic World 1, 2, and 3 back to back, she's fucking smoking hot in the first one. Then they've got her wearing cardigans and loose clothes, so you don't really see much. And the third one, the clothes aren't good enough because her face just got fat as well.
Dude, I was gonna do something to show you guys like what happens. It's like on TikTok. There's a
Life.
trend.
That was it. Marriage Causes Divorce. That show, Life. Fucking amazing. Only 2 seasons, I think, but absolutely amazing show.
Horrible.
Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying? Bryce Dallas Howard. Yeah. Sorry. I'm looking at the chat. Bryce Dallas Howard was the girl. Bless her. She struggles with weight.
Ay. Okay. So today we were supposed to talk about. Sorry, I did not bring it up. Did you see the Bonnie Blue and Andrew Tate interview?
Oh God, no.
Okay, it was
But
hilarious.
didn't she lose everything? Didn't she?
Who? No.
Like,
no,
I
she's
thought
fine.
that they're gonna take her fucking money or some shit.
No, those are just clickbait rumors. One that she was a man, one that she lost all her money, one that, all this stuff that she's going to jail. All that is just lies.
God.
So, anyways, we were watching the Bonnie Blue.
When's she gonna die of AIDS?
She's not. Calm down.
She just needs to hurry up.
Anyways, so basically Tate went from going we gotta change society, we gotta do all this, we gotta do something. And now he's completely black pilled. He's like, this is late stage feminism. This is a society that we've allowed to happen because men are the only ones that are allowed to change society. So if enough men with power push women to be promiscuous like this and help them out and whatever, everything that has happened in society, if they allow this and this is what they actually want. So the men with power push this.
Come on, didn't he convert to Islam?
Yeah, but he didn't even mention Islam this time. So I don't know.
Shut up with this. Men need to not allow him and his people will be the first to grape her.
Oh
Actually,
my
no,
God.
they probably wouldn't. She's way too old for them.
Okay. Anyways, moving on. Let's simmer down. So, and then he was saying that, like, at least Bonnie Blue is very honest when she like, you know, says what she's doing. She's like, look, I am using men for like money. I'm performing a service, and then I get money, and then I can afford the lifestyle that I want. And then Tate was saying that most females that work are actually performing sex work. Maybe they just have one customer, which is their husband, or maybe they use their sexuality to make more money. Like, you know, like those, what's it called? Those what, like real estate agents. They're always posting boob shots and stuff like that. It's that's like what they're doing. Or like you'll see the
Yeah,
Twitch
but this
streamers
is the
leading you to their OnlyFans or whatever. It's like,
but this is the bullshit that I'm really sorry, but when he uses these red pill talking comments,
hmm,
this is the problem. This is the reason why a lot of people are calling red pillars the woke right. Okay? If you look at one of the problems with the woke left, right, or just wokeness in general, it's the hypocrisy. It's the logical flaws in their arguments and the lack of self-awareness. So by his logic, if you're going to say that most women are sex workers because they use their sexuality to get what they want. So even if it's not a job, even if it's like you get your husband to do stuff for you by using your feminine wiles, which makes you a sex worker, right?
yeah.
Okay. If that's how women trade on their sexuality, because this is how they attract, this is how they manipulate. How do men attract? Think about it. If you then recognize how men use their sexuality, the male sexuality, to attract women, to look like a good prospective boyfriend or husband, right? Then by his logic, you can call any masculine man a sex worker as well. Because anytime he gets what he wants from his wife, i.e. sex, or any other favor that you want your wife to do for you, or any favor that you want women to do for you in general, right? If you work with a bunch of women, there's times where guys manipulate women, sometimes subconsciously, whatever, but you use the attractive qualities that you have. They're inherent to men. So you can call men sex workers by the same standard that he's using. And this is the fucking problem with red pill logic.
Wait. I don't get it. How can you call men sex workers?
By his logic, when he says that women trade on their feminine qualities,
I think
to get what they want.
But they are the customers. They're not the workers. They're the customers. But like,
no,
basically,
he's calling it a trade.
It's a trade. Yeah, look,
yes.
Men are trading resources for that, and women are trading that for resources. That tale is old as time.
Yes, I know, but men can also trade on their qualities that are attractive to women to get things that they want as well.
Yes, very good-looking men, which is very rare, and it's a short-lived career for men. Very good-looking men can get wealthier.
What do you mean it's a short-lived career for men? Men are physically attractive for longer in their life than women are.
Yes, but
women age out by their mid-20s.
Simmer down. Yes, but there's always an older man that will take even an old woman up to a point. Obviously, if you're 80, you're toast. Actually, no, there's some 80-year-olds that still get it, but whatever. I'm talking about for really attractive men. They usually age out faster because they're usually genetically attractive. They're usually not working on being attractive. Most men do not work on being attractive. They were born that way, and then they parlay that, if they're smart, to like be with a wealthy woman. But the problem is wealthy women do not readily give resources to hot men the same way that men will to hot women. They just don't.
But what we said was you need to look at what the attractive quality is that somebody wants, right? So the sexuality that women trade on is their looks. The sexuality that men trade on isn't, well, the thing that will attract women for sex isn't necessarily the looks. It can be physical strength. It can be confidence. Women are more attracted to those things. Men are predominantly, a guy can fuck the most boring, unfunny, self-conscious, full of red flags woman in the world if she looks hot. She could be personality-wise, she could be less than zero. But if she looks hot, he will obviously have sex with her. But a woman, if you give her a guy that's a good looking dude, if he doesn't have 4 or 5 other qualities, she still won't fuck him. Now, if he has those 4 or 5 other qualities that are winning qualities, but his looks aren't necessarily fantastic, she might still fuck him. So the thing is do you have these other things? I mean, let's be honest. We've all seen a fucking 10 out of 10 smoking hot girl go with somebody who's old enough to be her dad, short, fat, wrinkly, but he's driving an expensive car and he's got a big fucking bank account.
Yes, that's for resources.
Yes, but who's really getting the resource? For him, the resource is, I'm going to fuck this bitch. She thinks I'm going to give her money. She thinks she's going to get a ring on her finger. She's fucking dreaming.
There's some women that get resources and you don't know it. Like they're getting
yes,
resources.
But look, the thing is if you don't consider it a payment, if you consider I'm getting the better, look, if you're making a trade, whoever gets the better end of that deal is the one who isn't getting fucked. Okay, so if you're looking at a guy who's filthy fucking rich and she thinks, wow, I got a great deal here, but to him it's fucking nothing and he got something he normally wouldn't get, the person who wins out on the deal is the person who gets more and loses less. Relatively, he lost nothing. To her, she thinks she got a good bit of money. She didn't get like a fantastic amount of money, but she was like, okay, I'd be willing to do it for this. For him, like, this is nothing. This is peanuts. But I got something fantastic out of it. So who's really winning and who's really losing here?
It just depends. Like, not every, look, some women will concede to get a little bit of money from a lot of men, and while other women want to get married and to just have one man support them. It is just like, it's different strategies for different situations and different people.
Yeah, I mean, like, you've got to be aware of the trade that you're making. No guy, especially a rich guy. Rich people are rich because they're good with money. They understand how to make money. They understand how to make deals. But nobody in that situation.
There's a very high amount, because I worked with them, of men that acquired a lot of money either from inheritance or they got lucky and they had a business that took off.
Yeah, I should have said if they made their money.
That end up needing to use dating matchmaker services because they cannot speak to women. They did not create that. Just because you can make money doesn't mean you have a good personality, which means doesn't mean that you're like a person that attracts women, because attracting money and attracting women are two different things. And that it's a rare thing when they come in the same human being. And a lot of times women are just like more the predators towards successful men, because the successful man who does not have street smarts and does not know how to deal with women, his success will be his downfall because of a woman.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's stupid guys out there. I mean, look at, we spoke before a couple of weeks back about Elon Musk. Genius, but legitimately fucking retarded.
But no, he literally is. But also, it's like, think, like, just if he didn't have any money, this is how you can judge if a guy is like really that guy. If he didn't have any money, would there be women still willing to have his kid? Do they want his genetics that bad? Of course not. Nobody wants their kid to look like that. I'm sorry. They want to secure. It's
not even that, but the thing is, he's
money.
He's autistic. He's autistic as hell.
It doesn't matter. There's lots of people who are autistic but good looking.
No. Okay, autism today is massively overdiagnosed. A lot of people going around who are saying, like, when you see somebody who we've seen speak on interviews countless times and is completely fucking normal, and they go, I recently got diagnosed as autistic, go and report that doctor and get him fucking sacked. Because this is the bullshit. These are people who are getting diagnosed just so that the system can make money off of them, either via medication or therapy. Like how so many people now are dyslexic. You're not fucking dyslexic. You grew up in a country that has got the worst fucking education system, and you simply did not learn how to read. You are not fucking dyslexic. So, like, loads of these conditions are getting massively, massively, massively misdiagnosed, and it's on purpose. Autistic people, I hate to say it, you can spot them a mile away. And it doesn't matter where on the spectrum they are. It doesn't matter if it's something as simple as Asperger's or if it's something as complex as Worcester drought syndrome or any of the others. But you will recognize an autistic person within about 5 seconds of talking to them. So these people who are like, I didn't know I was autistic. Yeah, shut the fuck up.
We
You're
know
stupid.
it's mysterious. We know. Go on.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, speaking of autistic.
Speaking.
But yeah, like, I mean, yeah, Elon Musk, autistic. You can't, you look at him in a one-on-one interview. You know that there's something odd about that. And look at his relationships. Are you going to be in a relationship with somebody like that? And then look at the women who had babies with him.
Yeah, they're predators. They're predators.
They're retarded themselves.
Well, there's that plus
They're retarded themselves. Can you imagine a baby from Elon Musk, a dude who can't contain himself and jumps up and down on stage like a 5-year-old child, even though he's a fucking middle-aged man, right? Who, bless him, is completely socially awkward on another level.
Yeah.
Gets excited with rockets and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's half of the DNA going into the kid. And the other half of the DNA is a toxically narcissistic maniac who shits on beds. Like,
Amber, yeah.
Is that baby gonna have any chance of normalcy?
Yeah. Exactly. That's
Like, you're messed up, and you're messed up on a genetic level. Like, your DNA is messed up.
Yeah. But I think women do know that going after money alone is a losing battle, because then your kids are going to be half this. And if you don't find that attractive, if you don't actually want that, if that's not someone that you can like rebuild after the apocalypse with, then, you know, the woman is there for resources alone. And that's when you're going to be seeing the woman sleeping with the pool boy or doing whatever she wants to do on the side. And then like the kids are not the husbands or whatever. Like, that's how that happens. If you're not all the things up front before you have the money, that's your end result.
Just for the chat to know, like, I do love Elon. I think he's fucking hilarious. I love the guy, but we can't ignore the fact that he's retarded.
He has a very bad kicker.
He's got like that good kind of retardedness. He's got like that kind of Rain Man retardedness. Like,
dude, he'd be a great friend. I'd be friendly with him, but like, this isn't a guy that girls are dreaming about. No offense.
I don't think this is why I think his contract ending was actually good, because it reminded people, like, look, just a reminder, he is retarded, right? When he's out of the friends group, because he liked working with Trump. He was super excited. He was jumping around like every time he was there with Trump. And when it's like, oh, hey, hey, Elon, your 134 days are over. When he had to leave, he started going all fucking like, when they start, that's when he should have worn his football helmet, because, you can imagine him like banging his head, like screeching and shit. And then he started like spurging on X.
Yeah. So anyways, going back to the Tate and Bonnie Blue. A lot of women, we have to admit it, use their sexuality to make more money and then call themselves, boss babes, independent women, because they use the little carrot of their sexuality to get resources and money from dudes. I remember when I was very young, I had this friend that he was like, I don't know, he worked in financial something or another, like some investments or
And you
financial
were a
planners.
gold digger cat.
No. This is a friend. Okay. Anyways,
I
so
saw.
he
A guy or a girl?
was a guy, but I was single. He was single.
But
We were
I
friends.
thought from your earlier chats and
Yeah.
streams that guys can't be friends with girls and girls can't be
I
friends with
never
guys.
said that.
I thought you did.
I never said that.
So you
That
think that
was
men
the,
and women can just be friends?
I mean, if you're both single, why can't you be friends? And also, you know what? I feel certain people can be friends if they're not like interested in each other.
Like if one of them is unattractive.
Yes.
Okay, you're not that unattractive.
Shut up, whore. Or like, you know, look, you can be friends with someone, but
Just
you're
don't be
never
hard on
alone
yourself.
with them. You don't go out with them, just them, you know, like you can still be friendly. Maybe it's not like BFFs or whatever.
Oh,
Maybe it's not
we
like
get it. We get it. It's
worldly
okay. We know he didn't want to fuck you. It's cool. Okay, carry on.
Jesus Christ. Well, anyways, so he had these two coworker girls and they came up to us while we were walking around and they were the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. And I couldn't even speak. I was like, oh my God. And then they were
Oh no,
talking.
you were the duff in the relationship.
Shut up, bitch. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So they were freaking drop dead gorgeous. Anyways, and then they were talking about how much money they were making off commission. And one of the girls said she was making 1.2 million off of a commission from one client. And the other one was like, oh, well, I only made like 800,000 on this one client that we just had. But like next time I'll get the good one or whatever. Anyways, so they're talking all this shit. And I'm like, they're fucking beautiful. They fucking are rich and all this shit. And then they walked away and I was like in shock. And he knew exactly what I was thinking. He was like, wow, that I must be so impressed by these hoes or whatever. So then he was like, Kat, don't be so impressed by them. And I'm like, what do you mean? I didn't say anything. And then he's like, I could tell you're very impressed by these hoes. And then he's like, how do you think they get those big clients? And I'm like, I don't know. Aren't they really good at their job? And he's like, no, they're whores. They sleep with the clients. They get the account. They get a bonus. That's how the real world works.
The bonus is syphilis.
I don't know. And I'm just like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, that's how, like, you know, when you go to like the higher levels where people are making big time money and you see women also playing the game, that's what they're exchanging. And then he was like, you know, like those realtors that are like really hot and they have
This
like
happens. You see this.
big-
Nowhere is this more prevalent than in the medical industry. Just if you ever work in the medical industry, just look at the pharmaceutical reps or the reps that are selling like, you know, the high-end robot equipment to like surgical services, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the most current one is that like the highest end robot for like laparoscopic surgery, like for like livers and for spinal cases, where I think it's called the Da Vinci machine, right?
Mm.
That thing is something in the region of like about 8 million, right? And all of the equipment that like replacement parts for it are like tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? If you want a hospital to switch over from a system that they're using and upgrade to this system, which like even the operational costs are fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
But it pays for itself over time. Like if a hospital was to buy this, if they've got like an average amount of operating theaters and a good amount of consultants who use it, that thing will pay for itself in about less than half a year. Mm-hmm. But the upfront costs is what can cripple a lot of hospitals.
Yeah.
Because you have to like either rent it where you're always going to be kind of like nervous. You're going to be walking this fine line of like, are we going to have enough people using it to justify the rental of it? Or you have to pay for it up front. And it's a big leap because like you're going to be in the red for a while. Now, whenever you see any of the reps come into the hospital, these girls are going to make like
tons.
The most beautiful girl, you know, is they're going to make her look like a toothless fucking homeless whore.
Yes.
Like they will make even the most beautiful girl in your circle of friends look like fucking human garbage. Like that's how insanely hot these girls are. Like, and you're like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you? Like, one of the girls like literally said to one of the reps, "You should be an actress. You could be you could be a model." They make so much more money than actresses and models. They're like, "Fuck you! I should be an actress or a model." Like, why would I lose money? These girls make fucking bank, and why? Because the people who hire these reps know that they're only going to have about a 5-year shelf life.
Yeah.
Like when that first wrinkle comes in, when you hit 30 and the rest of the girls that they're hiring are 21, 22, you're already past retirement age. They're like, why are you still hanging around? Get the fuck out. We don't need you anymore. So like, yeah, like you're only going to have like an 8-year career in you at best. Plus, like I said, many of them do fucking get STDs. I saw one of the girls. I saw one of the reps. Like, she was hot as shit. And like, she comes into work. I was like, why the fuck did you even come into work with that massive fucking herpes? Like, what do you think? Like, who's going to talk to you? Like, I'm not being funny, but we know that these girls make their money on their back.
But I think that a lot of other women that are like good girls, they think, oh, it's because I'm not smart enough or whatever that I'm not making tons of money in these careers. But the reality is, and I know pharmaceutical reps, I used to have a lot of pharmaceutical reps that would come to my places, the clinics that I work at, and they would talk with the doctors or whatever. Once they figured out my doctor was not into women, then it started being hot little young dudes. They started rolling on in.
Yep.
They know exactly what you want, and they bring, and not only that, they would have like, oh, if you like get this many prescriptions by this date, we will take you to Hawaii, and all the girls or the boys, depending on your flavor, would be there. All the reps would be there, and they're like, we'll show you around town. You know exactly what you were getting. They are high paid hoes. That's the game. So the other thing is the top earners for women, they're like nurse anesthesiologist, freaking like doctors or whatever, like all the pharmacists, blah blah blah, nurse practitioners, lots of nurses, all this stuff. A lot of these careers, the hotter you are and the more people you sleep with, the higher up the ladder you go. And really, really wealthy people, we're talking old money, they would refer to whores and actresses as the same, interchangeable. The word was interchangeable because if you're wealthy enough, you know that you can purchase for the night any actress you see on any movie. They were for sale. The same with musicians or whatever. You go backstage, whatever, you can purchase your time with them. And the record company or their agent or whatever is like, this is so-and-so, give them a good time. If you want, this deal or that deal. And that's how it is. Like, women think I got here because of my talents. I got here because my work ethic. No. That's why you get there. If people want to sleep with you, you move up. And even if you're very unattractive, but if you're really good at certain things, like there was some singer, whatever, she wasn't very attractive, but she had a reputation for like giving like really good blowjobs or something like that. So like if you have a reputation for something, you can move ahead. And that's the reality of life. So and it sucks. Oh my gosh, nobody likes me for my brains. That's life. And for guys, nobody likes me for who I am. They want me for my resources and because I'm good looking or whatever. It's like, yeah, there is no you. There is no like fundamental inside you. You are just how you make people feel, and how you make people feel has a lot to do with your looks, your resources, and then after those are okay, maybe your personality. And then if you don't have anything, but you're really hilarious, you can get by if you're a guy, maybe not so much a girl, but if you're really funny, that can help you. Because I know some really, really unattractive, broke losers, but they're hilarious, that they get girls. Game is game. Okay. Trump
Okay.
just announced he has bombed 3 nuclear sites in Iran. What are
Iran
we going
has
to do?
nuclear sites.
Look, at this point, they have been planning World War III for years, and they have been talking about wanting to. Iran was supposed to be the last one on their list that they wanted to do. They're going to do it anyways. It doesn't matter who you pick as president. It doesn't matter how you protest. It doesn't matter what you do, what you say. This is going to happen. World War III is going to happen. There's nothing we can do, period. Just live your life. Be nice to your friends and your family and try to be happy because they're going to do what they're going to do, guys. There's nothing we can do about it. We're just cattle and they're herding us around. Did I tell you about how there's that guy Albert Pike and he's like one of the mystical whatever people. He wrote the book Morals and Dogma or something like that. He had a letter that he had written to some other whatever, Illuminati, whatever, a secret society type people. I don't know which one he's in, but whatever. And it basically outlined the 3 world wars before any of them happened and why they would happen, right? And he was right about the first 2. They already happened, right? And the last one he said it's going to be against the Jews and the like Islam. It's going to be these 2 religions are going to fight to the death. And then it said that they would mutually destroy each other. So it's not that he's psychic. It's that they have been planning this for generations. This is just the end of their plan coming to fruition. There's nothing that we could do to change it or stop it. It is what it is, guys. And like 20 years ago, would you ever have believed that it was going to be Islam versus Judaism as a fight to the death? Like they're going to fight? No, I wouldn't think that as a world war that we'd all get involved in. No, it just it didn't seem like that. There wasn't this stuff. Like now you go to Twitter and it's very polarized, and yeah, you can see that. But like 10 years ago, no. Maybe just like
I'm not being funny,
immediate.
but like just stay the fuck out of it. At this point, if you're looking at one bunch of dirty sandy people who want to fight another bunch of dirty sandy people, and they've been hating each other forever, but and the only reason. But the only reason why we want to get involved or why we feel like we're obligated to get involved is because of some kind of alliances or whatever. Just at some point, you've got to realize this shit isn't going to end. It's never going to end. If you've been fighting for hundreds of years, it's not going to suddenly stop just because we made a deal with these people. It's like, yeah, if America's supposed to be your ally and you keep getting involved in fights with other people and America doesn't back you up, even though it's kind of obligated to, and it backs you up only with words but not really action so far, at some point, the other people are going to realize your allies aren't really your allies. And even the public don't like you, right? But more importantly, I think that the rest of the nations who aren't involved in this shit just need to be like, guys, you've been fucking fighting forever. We're just going to stand back and let you go at it. Like, just go at it. And let them just go to town each other. I feel like that Japanese dude in Godzilla. I just want to just be like, let them fight. And just once they've settled their shit, then okay, cool. When they've settled their shit, we step in and we kill the survivors.
Oh my God, stop. This has been planned because they want to get rid of all the main religions of the world. They have already claimed victory against Christianity. Whether you agree with them or not, they have claimed victory. They have destroyed Christianity. And as far as they're concerned, that's what they want to do.
Which side?
What do you mean, what side? There's no side.
Who claimed it?
These cults that work in the background, they wanted to get rid of all the religions so they can instill their one world government and one world religion, like those, coexist type people. This was their dream. So in order to do this, they said we had to do 3 world wars, infiltrate culture, get rid of all like the other religions, destroy them, make it to like exactly what is happening, where people say Christianity and they assume that it's patriarchy, that it's oppression, that it's you know, people who are just trying to control you. Like this was all done systematically over a long period of time because they want, yes, people are making money and blah blah blah, but these are also people who created money. So it's not like they can't do it another way. They want to destroy the religions so they can have their one world government and one world religion, and they do not feel like they can do that until they destroy 90% of the population and then raise their children how they see fit. And then they'll have this magical utopia, which is exactly what is depicted in the Denver airport. And if you look at it, that's all the creepy stuff. But, you know, it's happening, and, you know, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, this one world shit, unfortunately, theoretically it works. I mean, if you look at the stuff that they claim that they wanted to engineer, whether it be like the Illuminati, whether it be the Order of 12, whether it be that Council of 300 or whatever, all of these ideas work well on paper, but in reality, it's an uphill struggle for them. And I think it's just a money-making scheme. I think it's like it's a pyramid scheme in the same way that Freemasons are. Like you think, or you have the goal, like we've got a plan for the world. We've got a plan for control over everything. And people have to kind of like join your clandestine society. They get invited into it, but then they have to pay their way in. They have to make contributions. And like, it's this wonderful little idea of we're going to rule the world. We're the string pullers behind it. But all as it is it's a scam, and the people are making money off of you. And they're making money off of super rich, super influential people by making them believe like, here you are now, like you're behind the curtain. You're one of us. Like, but you know, if it's Freemasonry, it's like, oh, you've got another 33 levels that you have to ascend before you learn the real secrets. And if it's like the Order of 12, it's like you've got to invest a certain amount of time and money before you find out. If it's that Council of 300, it's like you're going to have to prove yourself. You're going to have to serve at the table before, like, you know, you get a slice of the pie in return. So like it's just a big fucking pyramid scheme. And then by the time you get to the top and you realize it's all bullshit, the only way that you're going to make some of your money back, and the only way that you're going to earn anything out of it, is by scamming the people below you. So you get to the top and you realize, yep, the secret is that there's no real secret. But now we're going to scam the people underneath us, like how we got scammed. That's all it is. Because if you think about it, how long have the Freemasons been around? How long have all these clandestine societies been around? Like, and nothing's really happened. The people tried to topple capitalism for fucking ever. And even now, when America is overrun, rife with fucking socialists in all positions of power, it's still rejected because the public, the real people that run the fucking country, society, realizes, no, capitalism is what we want. Capitalism works. Like, socialism fails every single time. There's no way we want it. Like, that's why these guys are never going to fucking succeed in what they really want. And if we ever get to the stage where they say, right, okay, now you're never going to eat meat again. We're not going to farm meat. Like, we're not going to do that. You're going to eat bugs. You're going to sit at home. You're going to be happy. There's going to be an uprising the likes of which you've never seen. We've already gotten pushed to the point where society doesn't want to fucking tolerate this bullshit anymore. So, yeah, I mean, look at the reaction to COVID. You got to stay at home. You got to mask up. What?
Let's not say the words.
Oh, you're allowed to talk about that shit now.
Well, anyways,
people are getting fatigue of all of this shit.
They are, like, but it's
all of this shit.
It doesn't matter, because you heard about OpenAI, what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So OpenAI was, like all the governments have said, you have to store all the conversations, all the chats, even the deleted ones, and send them directly to the government for training, right? And they're going to eventually use this for predicted crimes. Like, have you ever heard of that 2002 movie Minority Report? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, future crimes. Yeah.
Yes. So Steven Spielberg, it was starring Tom Cruise, and it was basically like it was in 2054 supposedly that they'll have specialized pre-crime police units and psychics that they called precogs and
Precogs. Yeah.
advanced
3 of them
AI.
hooked up to a computer.
Yes,
And
to predict murders before they occur, allowing cops to arrest suspects for crimes they haven't yet committed. So basically, they can use AI to say they predictively predicted that you will commit a crime if you are inconvenient to the government, right? Or to any of the elites. So that is where we're going, period. And they're telling it to you right now. So if you want to find out what your chat, if you're one of those people that use Chat GPT, you have to go and put in this prompt. I put it in the description, guys. Look in the description for the video. And it starts with, please put all text under the following headings into code block, blah, blah, blah. Put this text into your Chat GPT and it'll tell you exactly what it thinks about you. And this is from another YouTuber called Go to Go. If you want to watch her video, she talks about it more in depth. Anyways, so I entered it in, and this is what my Chat GPT knows about me, which is hella creepy. I'm not going to tell you guys everything because it's very long, but it's hilarious. It's thankfully it does not know if I'm married or have kids, so that's awesome because I don't talk about that stuff, so that's good. But basically it's like it knows I have low histamine, and it also knows that I ask for other people's health information, and it knows what's me and what's them because it figured it out. And it thinks I'm 33 years old. That is so sweet. So
yeah, so let's be honest, it's never going to guess future crimes if it's that fucking stupid.
Shut up, whore. Anyways, so look, it puts my likes as biohacking, truth-seeking, anti-aging, low-tox living, moody music, fantasy style music, and honest conversations. And it says dislikes, mainstream advice, parabens, demonic themes, toxins in skincare, and brand deals from products not personally used. Those are my dislikes.
And Imperious.
Period. Look, my psychological profile: independent, curious, rebellious, health conscious. My motivations: truth.
And a compulsive eater.
Shut up, whore. Optimization, autonomy, creative expression, identity drivers, biohacker, truth seeker, cultural critic. Hilarious.
That's what's going to put you on the hit list, the cultural critic part. To be like, she's a cultural critic, kill her.
God. And it says my goals, my career goals: prefers online work only. This is true. How does it know? It's magical. Goals.
She's a lazy bitch.
Yes. Monetize live streaming, one-on-one advice, and independent creator. And then it says, let's see. Community builder. Interesting. And then
she'll be an OnlyFans whore.
Oh, of my gender, female implied.
Wow.
Implied. So it's like it's guessing I'm female. Okay. It knows where I live. I didn't put that in anywhere, so it knows that. Concerns, my concerns are liver function, hormones, skin issues. Hilarious. Yes, I'm female presenting. Okay, it says, okay, what else? My background is in psychology. It knows that I have a background in psychology, which I never said. It knows how many people are in my private Discord, which I never mentioned Discord, how many people are in it or anything. It knows how many people are in it. It knows my YouTube subs. It knows my channel, which I never mentioned. Let's see. It knows my average live stream views. That's freaking crazy. Let's see. What is this? What else is interesting? Let's see. Uses it for health research, brand development, creative writing, product safety analysis. Okay. So yeah. Avoid.
You skipped the pornography.
Shut up. I don't use it for that. Avoids mainstream advice, untrustworthy information, seeks clarity, natural solutions, and grounded support. See, it got me. It gets me.
Kat, you sound like the most boring person.
Oh, what is yours going to be if you
You
use
sound like some liberal arts hippie student.
Oh my gosh. How dare you?
Especially with the female presenting part.
It knows my skin type, Damon.
Your skin type.
How does it know that? Skin type. It knows my skin type. And my diet, it says carnivore style with exceptions. Likes raw milk. How does it know that? I don't even talk about that.
You said it today.
Yeah, but here, so it's like freaking.
And you said it in the past a few times. Raw milk, by the way, and honey and shit like that you were talking about, maple syrup, fucking loads of carbs. Not good for you.
Yeah, it says everything but conspiracy theorists, which I think it's like it's trying to say conspiracy theorists in the nicest way possible.
No, it's AI. It knows that those aren't theories.
Well, maybe.
Facts.
Undisciplined carnivore.
Yeah.
See, that is a great diet that we should all promote. Undisciplined carnivore. So you're mostly carnivore, but like, you know, you have a little fun. Keep it spicy. Maple syrup covered bacon is delicious. But I don't eat bacon anymore because I no longer eat pig.
Oh, she finally fell to Islam.
It's happened. It's happened.
Or is it the Jew in you?
You know, it's a little bit of both. Oh, have you seen Midjourney's new AI video? Like, it's way better than the other ones.
I'm just thinking now about like somebody who's both a Jew and a Muslim.
Oh my gosh, stop.
But that could bring balance to the force.
Oh God.
You're a Jewslim.
Okay. Let's see. I want to see some AI videos from Midjourney. Okay. Well, I saw this guy's before and I know they're good. So how do I share this? I'm going to turn the sound off because there's no sound in Midjourney, the video creator anyways. So, okay. This is going to change all my music videos as soon as I get Steven to like allow me.
To allow you what?
To get this. Ah, come on, an ad. Stupid ads. Okay. What is this? No. Show me. Okay, here. No, show me the video. All right, no, he's talking. Show me the video. Damn it. Okay, whatever. Maybe if I, okay. See this one. He's talking. Damn it. Okay. There. That looks like Roseanne. This looks good. Look. The characters in the back look good. And they said one thing about this is when you continue, like extend the scene, you know how like it doesn't get text correctly yet. but the same like gibberish text will continue throughout all the scenes. So it remembers whatever the hell it created. So like that's an improvement. And the fingers and the hand are really good. And the people in the background before they used to like kind of like scramble around like too much, and it's not too bad anymore. Like you can see it. It's gotten
So
next.
how accurate are the prompts in creating the characters that you want? If you want to create like what a person looks like, what they're wearing, what their facial features are.
But look at this one. Look at this little kid that it created.
Yeah, but I'm
That
saying like how accurate is it to the prompts that you give?
from what this guy said, I watched this whole video and he said it's pretty damn accurate, but it's like it does have some creative liberties, but he likes the creative liberties. So like they have been better than what he inputted. I mean, this looks real.
How
Even
much
the
does it cost?
fire. I think it's like $150 or some crap, which is
What,
not
per
that bad.
month or what?
Yeah, like a month. Like look at like this scene has a bunch of orcs in the background. They all seem to be moving quite normally. Let's see. Let's skip this. Like this ship with this guy. It looks pretty good. Oh, but one thing that it does really, really well, which is Midjourney's kind of like bread and butter, is this style that looks kind of like Disney-like. It's so good and smooth. It looks better than Disney quality animation. So and like these stop animation looking things like Tim Burton Night Before Christmas type animation, Coraline, whatever, all that type of animation, it's spot on, beautiful, cinematic, really, really nice. Like, look at this. This is beautiful quality. So imagine okay, let's look at this rock chick. Oh, yeah. So this is like your anime style. That's really good. It looks amazing. So yeah, if you want to do some sort of like animation, I feel like that it's already done. We're already where you can do any animated film you want by yourself, which is crazy. Now it only does 30 hours for like the 180 or 150 or whatever the hell it is per month. Yeah, animation jobs are dead. Now the movies, I think it's a little too cumbersome to use for like a full film, but animation is gone. Like
No,
most
I don't
people.
think so. Because one of the main things that people love about anime or about, what you'd want to use this stuff for, which would be things that you'd need special effects for, i.e., action, sci-fi, or whatever. One of the things that you'd want is absolute full control over everything that happens on screen. Okay, especially in anime, which a lot of the most popular anime is action-based anime. And you want the fight choreography to look specifically a certain way. Every single blade strike or hit or counter or whatever, you want it to look a certain way. You want the camera to be in a certain place. AI just generates that shit for you. You can describe what the fight's going to look like, but then AI is going to generate it based on how it interprets what you're asking for. And most people know, like, no, I want it to look very, very, very specific, a certain way. I want full absolute control over it. And you can't do that stuff in post with AI. You'll have to go in, you'll have to like rig all the models, you'll have to like you'll have to model all of the characters, rig them, move them a certain way to get the shot that you want. So I don't think until AI learns to make it look exactly how you want, every single character's movement exactly how you demand it to be, then you're always going to have a job for animators because you're bringing the thing in your head to life on screen. And AI is only going to be able to interpret it based on your descriptions. And you can't describe exactly how you want a sword to move, exactly where the camera is going to be, where the view is going to be. You're not going to be able to describe all of that exactly. And by the time you do, you might as well have just animated it.
I don't know, because animation is so expensive. that it
I-
yeah, it's
Yeah.
cheaper. People might just be like, look, you're gonna get shittier quality. I mean, who's gonna be able to control it? Now it doesn't allow you to do anything spicy or like he tried
Where
to
I
do like a
where I
kissy
think
face.
where I think AI is going to really take off
Mm.
is when it comes to the laborious parts of animation. So, like, if you're looking at any of those films, like let's say Incredibles or whatever, like if you're doing an animation, you're going to need 3D models, right? Now, if you're doing 3D modeling, you will sculpt your model first. When
Look
you
at this,
sculpt your
Damon.
model,
Can you see right now?
yeah,
Okay, so this is an image, and now when you put it into Midjourney, it makes it a 3D model automatically, and it
that's
is
what I was going to say.
pretty good.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
If you're because one of the most popular 3D animation software at the moment is called Blender.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Blender isn't the best one, but it's free. It's entirely free. It's open source. If you look at something like Maya or another one, like you're going to be spending thousands using that.
Mhm.
But Blender is free. But when you create a 3D model, normally you would sculpt it. You sculpt it to look however you want it to look. But the problem is because it's sculpted from a either a sphere or a cube, and you've subdivided the mesh into like God knows how many polygons, right? Depending on how smooth you want it to be. Once you've modeled it, the wireframe for it is all messed up. So you have to remap that wireframe. You're going to have to like do an overlay on it so that everything looks uniform, so that when you get lighting on it and you render it, it all looks good. That shit is laborious as fuck. So if you can get AI to do that, you're going to be saving a shit ton of time, a shit ton of effort, and also to rig it so that you can move it properly, so that you get the bone joints where you want them to be, and so that you can manipulate that character. This is the shit that's most laborious and that costs the most amount of money when you're paying animators, is the modeling and the rigging.
Mhm.
Animating it isn't actually that difficult because most of the time they'll use things like motion capture. So you just get people to like move around and do what you want them to do, and it gets translated into their 3D modeling software.
Okay, so here he put the image, and then it just makes her spin around, and now it's modeled the entire character. He can move the character however he wants after he does that. And a stupid ad. Ba-ba-da-da-da-da.
Well, you know that most of the top earning OnlyFans accounts are actually
AI.
AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming pretty as soon as I can figure out how AI works. I'm just going to be an AI here. We're going to have an AI Damon, an AI cat. Why not? We can be like Nightmare Before Christmas style. Yes. Okay. See?
You have to have a green head weirdo.
Obviously. And then I guess there's some like a filter or some program you run it through and it makes it more detailed. I mean, I hope this is true. I hope that the next industrial revolution will be like children running 3D printers and manufacturing and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. I don't think it's going to happen because I think kids now, they use ChatGPT and their brains don't function. So they're not creative anymore. They found kids
Yeah,
can't
kids are
write.
dumber now than they've ever been.
It's never been this bad. I think like people like us who grew up how we grew up and then get a tool like this are unstoppable. But when we're gone, all the creativity leaves with us because they
You've
haven't
got,
been bored.
just think about it this way, and this is quite terrifying when you think about it. Current day, you've got kids coming from third world countries that are more highly educated than people in the West.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got the third world giving a better education, and kids are more capable. Kids know how to use computer software to a higher level than what people in the West, people in America and Europe know how to do. Like, it's pretty fucked up.
I mean, I still have some hope for some of the kids, like Gen Alpha. I hang out with a lot of Gen Alphas because my kids and whatever.
Yeah, the Gen
They,
Alpha youth are pretty based, but unfortunately, they're still dumb.
they are hilarious, though. They have really good comedic timing. As a generation, I've noticed this, and they are very untrusting of authority. They challenge everything, which I like. I think that's good because
Yeah, but that's probably just kids being kids.
no, it wasn't like this when I was a kid. When I was a kid, you never spoke back to your teacher. You didn't talk back to someone. You would go to the principal office or some garbage. Like these kids are like very much against authority is what I want to say. And I feel like we have been kind of rude to you know, millennials and Gen X, but like some of them are actually teaching their younger kids that not to, you know, trust authority, how the world really works. And I'm seeing it in the kids. I'm seeing two sides. I'm seeing the boss babe busy moms that neglect their children. I'm seeing those kids are doing worse than ever before, even before like when we were younger. And now I'm seeing the ones whose parents are very involved doing better than even we were at their age by far. Now, as far as like, can they write without chat GPT? Can they do this without? No, they're using it as a crutch, but you know, they're probably going to have that tool their whole lives. So it's probably not going to be that bad. And it just
It's going
leaves
to be
room for
terrible.
other things.
It's
I
going to
don't
be
know.
fucking terrible.
Look,
It's going to be terrible. Kids today don't know how to fucking write with a pen. That like they're losing more and more and more skills every single day. They're gonna be like, I don't need to know how to do this. You know, I've got a word processor. I've got a mobile phone. I've got a smartphone. I don't need to go to the library. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. It's like it like honestly, especially if you think about World War III potentially being around the corner.
yeah.
You know, if there's World War III, you know one of the things that we're not going to have anymore is the internet. You're not going to have the internet. Computers. No, all of that shit is gone. After World War III, like that whole infrastructure that's going to need to be rebuilt, you're not going to
Mhm.
have anyone who's going to know how to rebuild it. Because I know if I'm like a leader of a nation and I'm going to war with other people, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out all of the people who know how to rebuild the infrastructure. Like your scientists, your engineers, those guys are gone.
Is
So,
that why
like,
they go
even if,
after farmers?
yeah, yeah, I won't go after the farmers. I won't need to, I don't care if you eat or whatever, but I know that if I take out the people who are going to enable you to have electricity, heating, like running water, that's all I need to do. And you guys are fucked. Can you imagine how the current generation is going to survive if they know that they don't have mobile phones and they can't text and they can't go on Google? They're done.
I mean, I see that too.
The
Could go
first
either
thing that
way.
those guys are going to do in the war is they're going to take out satellites.
I mean, that would be kind of nice though. If we lose the phone, if we lose the internet, if we lose all of that and we have to go back to how things were before, it will be actually Probably,
Yeah,
I'm
it will
guessing
be
it
it
will
will be
be way
okay.
better.
It will be okay for the people who say we're going to go back to the way it was before. It will be okay because you remember how it was before.
Yeah.
But these people don't know how to live like that. Those people, there's kids today that have never played a board game in their life.
No, I mean, the kids now, they think they like board games. Whenever my kids' friends come over, they are like, let's play a board game, show us
Yeah, but
something from your childhood.
your kids are kind of normal sounding. But there's most kids out there have never played a fucking board game.
Oh, this is the other
If they're
thing.
told
They're really into chess. This generation, because of Andrew Tate, they're really obsessed with chess. Our generation wasn't this obsessed with chess. They all want to be chess masters.
you've made me depressed for the whole fucking week now.
Why?
Because of
Why?
Andrew Tate, they love chess.
Look, he
That
did one good
chinless
thing.
fucking gimp.
Give it to him. He did one good thing. He's pretty funny and he did one good thing. So, like, you know, it is what it is. So all the kids are in chess club now. And it's like the chess club is like has so many kids in it that there's a wait list. Can you imagine? They're all like, I want to be in the chess club. And then the debate team is the other thing. You couldn't force the kids to get into debate or chess. There
Yeah,
was
the
no
sad
club.
thing is that kids today just don't know how to debate.
But they're trying. We didn't even
They're
try.
trying, but they're not trying well. And people aren't really correcting them. They think the blood sport is actual debate. It's fucking not.
I mean, it's not, but you know what? They're going to learn from their teachers, probably like, you know, the classical way to do things. And the blood sport is entertainment. And then the classical way you debate. I do see some podcasts have the blood sport debates and the other ones have like regular debates. And there's both. You can watch both. One is funner than the other, but the other one is more informative. Oh my God, there was one I was watching and I was so angry the whole
Yeah,
time.
this is it. That's exactly the point. YouTube based. Like,
Yes.
if the whole point of debate is trying to actually work through, you know, logical traps, logical puzzles, and obviously trying to get as close to a truth as you can by testing somebody's principles, you're not going to get that from Bloodsport. Bloodsport, you can win and be completely fucking wrong. It's a popularity contest. And it's just like who can shout the loudest, who can try and humiliate the other person the hardest. You're not actually getting to the truth of anything. You're not actually trying to kind of test theories.
Mm.
So it's just kind of intellectually redundant.
So, what was I going to say? I have some clips on women on TikTok because this is going viral. Women on TikTok showing what they look like before and after having kids.
Oh no, not win Destiny. Fuck Destiny. It's retarded as shit.
At least he talks to the other side though. You got to give him that.
In bad faith though.
Yeah, but everybody's in bad faith now with their little blood sport things. Anyways, I'm not going to play sound on this. Why isn't it showing? Here we go. No sound. This is the TikTok trend of women complaining about what they look like before and after kids because they are trying to convince women. Obviously, feminism. The feminists are online trying to convince women not to have kids. Like you're going to get hideous and ugly, which it is very true. There is a high chance that you won't come out of having kids without looking hideous. I mean, it is what it is. Look, you're not going to. Everything changes.
Look at Cat.
Shut up, whore. So yes, like definitely, like it was traumatic. It's traumatic when you're good looking.
Yeah,
Like
I
if you're
love that.
average,
My face before pregnancy with half a fucking ton of fillers and shit.
okay, just look at it.
Oh God.
So basically, your face and everything else gets bigger and swollen.
Yeah, go to how it looked after. Go to how it looked after.
Okay.
Right. No, the other one. She looks like she's got halfway Down syndrome there.
I can't. It doesn't let me stop at the.
Right. So the reason why she looks so fucking weird there is because she's got excess fat in the face because of the pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have that adipose tissue and you have cheek implants and all this kind of filler, the fat displaces the filler. And that's why her face looks weird. If she didn't have half a fucking ton of plastic surgery before getting pregnant, she wouldn't look like that. She would look fine.
You think so, but let's keep on cruising.
Well, she's also
doesn't
had
have
work
filler.
done. She had work done though.
Boom!
When you have work done, if you have like a nose job, or if you have any kind of facial surgery, right, it causes scar tissue underneath in the muscle. And when you have that scar tissue there, scar tissue isn't elastic. So when you get fat under there as well, you're going to have certain parts of the face that aren't going to move naturally the way they should.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but she's just fat there. She's just got fat face there.
Yeah, because kids make you gain weight sometimes. It is what it is. Yes. This chick didn't have fillers or anything. You just get swole.
Yeah, but you can lose that weight as well. I mean,
Yeah, but you're never gonna look the same. Like it is. You have to give up your youth.
what do you mean you're never gonna? You're never gonna look the same because you age all the time.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
like,
But you can be thinner, but you're never gonna have like like when you see even older women that never had kids, they always look better.
So here's the question, Kat. Why do women want to look hot?
To get men
So that they can have what?
money.
And
They don't want to have kids, Damon. That's not what women
no,
want.
if the whole idea that the whole reason why females are attractive is so that they can get a man and have a baby. So if you don't want to have a baby because but I want to look attractive, for what? For what? So that you can look pretty until you grow old and die alone. Like, just think about it logically. These women are so fucking retarded. I want to look hot just for the sake of looking hot.
It is what it is. It goes downhill. They don't want to give it up. They don't want to like get to this point. That's the thing.
Yeah, and then one day they're going to realize what the whole point of looking attractive is for. And by that point, they're going to be too old to even get pregnant.
Anyways, you guys can't hear the music, but it's all like sad, depressing shit. And it's like all the comments are like women crying about like how they gave up everything for just some dude and some kid.
Yeah, I was about to say, fuck the baby. Like, I hate the baby because the baby made me look fat and unattractive. It's like, you fucking idiot. These women have got no fucking priorities in order.
Yep.
This is why, honestly, it's a black pill thing to be talking about the fucking population crisis. But stop talking about birth rates. We need to stop talking about birth rates. You need to stop telling people to get pregnant, have babies. We need to repopulate. We need to fuck that shit. Just take care of yourself. Do it yourself. Have babies yourself. Stop telling other people to have babies because otherwise you're going to have idiots like this who are getting pregnant for the wrong reasons. We don't want these stupid people getting pregnant. Only the people that are smart enough to understand why they should be doing it should be the ones having kids. Okay? Like, a declining birth rate is absolutely fine if the people being born are the right kind of people who are going to be raised the right kind of way. But if you have all these fucking idiots having kids just because they think the declining birth rate, oh my God, we need to have kids. Like, you're going to have stupid people having kids and they don't even know why the fuck they're doing it.
Damn, this chick just got stacked after.
Let's see.
Uh-huh.
Her.
Yeah. See, for
Full of
me, it
milk or
was like
silicone?
those are her real ones. Those are real.
Oh, yeah. Homegrown.
Yeah, I remember
Those
like
are some
I had nothing
organic
like
titties.
yeah, these are organic. No, it's her OF. I don't think she has one. I think she's just like, this is just
Look at it. Go back to that. Look at how hard those legs have to walk to carry those titties. Go on, play it. Look. Every step is an effort. Every step
yes.
is an effort. I've got to keep these tits up. Look at that. She's like, my legs aren't strong enough. How much do you squat? These tits. That's how much. Oh my God. Look at that face. Just imagine the fucking surgeon would look like he's just chiseling away.
Damn, that's quite a before and an after. Okay, let's see this one. Oh, yeah, this is not fun. Oh, see, this is a nice and tight.
The after picture is going to be her vagina.
Shut up. Oh my God.
Yeah, but she's not even trying. She's not even trying. She's trying there. She's trying there. She's got makeup on and shit. There's lighting. Here, no lighting, no makeup, no effort.
Yeah, they got to try a little bit. I agree. Anyways, so that's what's trending on the TikToks, the feminist propaganda. Don't have kids because you're going to look hideous and then you can't make money off your body after you're hideous. That's what they're telling people. If you have a kid, then the guy will leave you for someone who didn't have a kid and still has their body. That's what they're telling women. So, population.
But guess what's going to happen though?
What?
If you don't have a kid, the guy's going to leave you for some other chick who's going to give him a kid.
But that's the thing. It's like, I don't think they are. Because they're just going to get their money up front. They'll just be like, pay me this. And then they'll just move on. Start their OnlyFans. Put their AI cam business in gear. Make money that way. Once you take the provisions away from the men towards the women, then women are just like, they're not interested. I've come to realize that we're never going to go back. It's just not going to happen.
I think this is one of the symptoms of living in a society where you never learn patience. Everything is, well, if you live like how we live now, where everything is at, the touch, you have everything at the touch of the button. The whole world is at your fingertips, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to wait for download shit anymore. Like, you can just stream shit. There's zero patience. It used to be that, like, you come back from work, like, you'd say, hey, should we watch a film tonight? Okay, cool. I'm going to download something. Can you go on BitTorrent or whatever? You download a movie. You have to wait, like, back then you had to wait like an hour to download a movie.
2 days.
And then you, like, sit down and watch a film together, right? And now everything is like, click, I've got it. Click, I've got it. Whatever the fuck I want, click, I've got it, right? Even if you don't want to cook food, you don't want to go out to a restaurant to collect your food, you can just pay somebody to drop it off at your doorstep. And, like, within 5 minutes, bam, it's there. Like, Nobody has any kind of patience for shit anymore. And this is why you've got now like the most fucking privileged generation that has the highest levels of mental illness and depression.
Mhm.
And like, what have you got to be depressed about? You grew up coddled, wrapped in fucking bubble wrap and cotton wool, never been bullied in your life, never been oppressed in your life, never struggled for anything, never waited for anything, never worked for anything. You've got more handouts being given now than ever before in human history. You've never known war in your lifetime. Like, you, these are the most privileged fucking kids in the West,
Mhm.
and in the most tolerant, hyper tolerant society. I would say toxically tolerant,
Mhm.
and they think that they're the most hardest done by generation. They complain more than anybody. They whinge and bitch and moan more than everybody. These are the most privileged bitchlets that we've ever seen on the planet. And when you now see them making a life for themselves and thinking like, I'm strong, I'm independent, you're a whore. You're a whore with an OnlyFans account. And when you have this OnlyFans account, you're like, I don't want to have kids. We don't want to have kids. We don't want to have kids. Like, we just want to look pretty and young forever. I think that because they never learned patience, when you are forced to be patient for something, when you're forced to wait for something, it gives you time to think about what you're going to have, what is waiting for you down the road. You start thinking about the future, because the whole point of patience, the exercise of patience, is to understand what that sacrifice of time is for, like what you're going to get on the back end. And you get to thinking about the future. And one of the things is that you might realize, I don't want to wait for this. I would rather forget about that, not invest my time in that, and do something else. You start thinking carefully about what it is that you actually want. And you start thinking about the future more. You realize that your time is precious. And you think about what it is that you want to invest your effort into. And because these people have never learned patience, they never think about that. They've never thought about the future, really. They've never thought about maybe saying, this might not be a good bet. Perhaps I should do this instead. There is no either or when you can just get everything at the click of a finger. We used to have to go to fucking Blockbuster Video and think about what film we want to watch, because we know that when we pick that film out and get home and put it in, if 5 minutes later we don't like it, we have to carry on watching it, because you can't go back again 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 times and start watching 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different films. But now you can click start streaming something, 2 minutes later you don't like it, click I'm going to stream something else, click I'm going to stream something else, and then 3 hours later you still haven't really started watching a film. So patience is an incredible virtue, and these people don't have that.
I remember when I was younger, all all the girls were like starting slowly. It was very slowly starting to become a little bit more loose, right? And since it was just starting out, it wasn't a very normal or common thing. They would kind of like want to get their friends to do it too, so they wouldn't be the only one. And they would like berate you to like be skanky or be loose or whatever. And then I wouldn't go along with it. And they would call me names like, oh, you're so prude. You're so boring. You're no fun. You're
You're
this.
talking about the slut praising era.
Yeah, it was just like, it was like it was like, if you're not a slut, you were like bullied, basically.
Yeah, slut praising. Now we have,
Yeah.
then we've got slut
Yeah.
shaming, but slut praising phase. Yeah.
Yes. So it was a new thing, because it's like in my mom's generation, you didn't have sex until you were married. And if you did before, you immediately got married, like to the same person you had sex with. Like that was just it. But when this started happening, it was like really shocking to me, because also it was finally becoming normal for there to be single moms in mass. Before, it was a rare thing. It was like it's a widow, or, you know, like a very, very, very rare thing to happen, like a horrible tragedy to be a single mom. And then it started becoming normalized. And then these girls who come from broken families started like pushing for promiscuity to be normalized, because they were basically looking for a father figure in all these other men, like trying to get, when you don't have the father figure, you try to get someone that doesn't want you. So basically their father didn't want them, so they're trying to recreate the trauma and then change it this time. So they find a man who doesn't want them, and then they try to make him want them. So like if they can get the man that doesn't want them seriously to take them seriously, then it's kind of like they fixed the father trauma, which you can't do that way. It's ridiculous. But they were all trying to do this. And then me, who had a great dad, didn't have that issue. But I'm watching it happen in real time. And like the girls would just like kind of shame and like ostracize the girls who had strong, good fathers. So like you weren't cool anymore. So you weren't allowed to go to the cool parties. You weren't allowed to hang out with people. Like you were just like, you know. Like,
Well, this was what started happening at the dawn of wokeness, right? People think woke is a recent thing. It's not. Like woke came just on the tail end of political correctness. Political correctness came in once political correctness was fully established, which was pretty much mid to the end of the 1980s. That's when you saw the transformation to wokeness, right? And if people think no, it's not. It actually, it really was. If you think about how times were at that point, because all that wokeness is, if you look at the woke ideology and if you look at the behavior of the woke crowd, I mean, I know it's more complex than this, but essentially, behavior-wise, what it is it's the weaponization of political correctness. So political correctness got brought in kind of like mid-70s, right? And then they started pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And once it took root, once it was fully in place, once all of the teachers were teaching it to the kids, and once the kids that were leaving schools started having kids of their own, and they're raising the kids with the ideology that they were brainwashed with, at that point, you saw political correctness was the norm in the educational system at all stages of it, from like kindergarten all the way through to university. And those teachers that were raising those kids were now teachers that were raised in that system themselves. So for them, it was an absolute truth. Politically correct ideology was just, it's be nice. Why can't you just be nice? Bullying is bad. Don't bully kids, right? Now, one of the and also you shame the behavior that you don't like. You shame the behavior that you see as problematic. You shame the behavior that you see as politically incorrect. You shame that into submission. So anybody who likes to do something that is deemed politically incorrect or problematic gets shamed. Shame is the kind of the cudgel that you beat them into submission with. And what you then see is you see people who now say, oh, this is a safe space. This is a safe space. What does that mean? We don't allow intolerance. We don't allow bullying. We don't bully. Like, bullying is bad. It's terrible, blah, blah. You don't do that. And they think that they've eliminated bullying. And if you look at those schools, they'll be like, we've got no bullying here. There's an anti-bullying policy. There's no bullying here. Really? Is that true? Because if you go there, you'll see that bullying happens on a daily basis, every single fucking minute.
Of course.
It's just that it's you guys doing the bullying. Every time you shame somebody, every time you stifle somebody's freedom of expression and free speech, every time you silence a certain ideology that you don't like, that doesn't conform to the shit that you want to push, you're bullying them. But you think that you're not. You think that you're shutting down bullying. And I'm sorry, but like, that different opinion that person has isn't them being bullied. Just because they say something that you don't like the sound of, that doesn't mean that it's hate speech. But this is what the progressives believe. The progressives believe that if I hate what you're saying, that's what hate speech is. Your speech is making me hate what you're saying. So what you're saying is hate speech. That isn't what fucking hate speech is. But to them, to those fucking idiots, that's the definition of hate speech. He said something, I hate it, therefore it's hate speech. No, 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 no. That isn't how it works. So anytime you hear somebody that you don't like, or an opinion that you don't like, or they're wearing a hat that you don't like, or whatever, and you lose your shit and you shame them into submission, you ostracize them, you kick them out, you ban them, you cancel them, you dox them, whatever. It's like, you're a fucking bully. And if you accuse them of that, they'll lose their shit. And they'll start crying, and they'll say that you're offensive, and then they'll say that you're a liar, and they'll say that you're a bigot. And it's like, no, 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 no. And that's what you have, this pandemic of cry bullies. And they don't realize that they're the fucking villain. You know? Like, you're the bad guy. You don't know it.
But as long as they have the power, they're okay with bullying. It's just.
Well, it's that thing of it's always okay when they do it, right?
Yeah.
When we do it, it's not bullying.
Exactly.
We're the victims. We're the victims, therefore we can't be bullies. It's the same as how, we're black. We can't be racist. It's like, it's a wonderful little universe you've created. These rules are so fucking convenient. You can be the biggest fucking cunt on the planet, but it's okay. You're the hero in your own little story because you've painted yourself to be the victim.
Yeah. So, and I think I said this before, feminism was just women jealous of the top 1% men who get to make a lot of money, have a lot of money, and sleep around with a lot of women. And they want to be that man. They don't want to be just like the man.
I disagree. I believe, because for me, it's, you said feminists or just what, women that were jealous of the top. Go ahead, say it again.
Like the top 1% type of man that's capable of sleeping around with a lot of women.
Yeah. So I'm saying that feminism was a bunch of women that were jealous of attractive women. That's all. Feminists were ugly, fat women.
Yes, but they
ugly, fat women who were just jealous.
Ugly women who wanted to be Andrew Tate. The stereotypical Andrew Tate character.
I don't think anybody with a brain wants to be Andrew Tate. Sorry.
These women do. I'm not saying they have a brain. So like.
No. See, no. Okay, look. You're talking about third and fourth wave feminism.
Yes. The
feminism in the beginning was
ones that want
nothing but fat,
the ones
old,
that are like
ugly.
want the cuck chair.
No. You need to understand how this works, right? Like, you need to understand how these kind of movements work, right? It starts gradually. You can't go to a time and an age when women didn't have the vote, weren't allowed in the workplace, needed to get married off super young so that they would have somebody to support them. Otherwise, there'd be nobody to support them ever in life. You had to get married off quick, super quick. And if you were ugly, if you were unattractive, you had to pray to God that you were great at other things and that you would find a man who would settle for you. You can't go to that day and age and suddenly convince women, hey, you know what you need to do? You need to be a boss bitch. You need to be independent. You need to trade on your sexuality all the time. Just go out there, be a whore, like be a go-getter, act like a man. Be better at shit that men do than what men are, right? You can't jump from there to there. It's a gradual process. And the first step is you get the most disgruntled women to basically take that first step, the angriest, unsatisfied women of all. And then you say to them, hey, we want more responsibility. Because the pretty ones aren't ever going to ask for more responsibility because they're absolutely fine being looked after by men and having men provide for them. So there's no way in hell that you're going to get the majority of women, because let's be fair, back then, the majority of the women knew how to be high-value women. They were slim, they cooked, They cleaned, they cared for dudes, they fucked whenever the guy wanted to fuck. None of this, I've got a headache, darling. None of that bullshit. Because they knew that everything was provided for. Like, the guy's going out, he's working, he's making money, he's paying the bills, he's doing everything, he's putting a roof over your head. All you have to do is pop out kids, look after the house. That's it. And if they were hot enough to get a guy to do all of that shit for them, to pay for all of that shit, to provide all that shit, there's no way that they're going to say, hey, do you know what would be a good idea? Is if I went out and I worked, and then I came home and then I also did the cooking and the cleaning and looking after the kids all on my own. Why the fuck would I do that? So you have to get the ugly bitches to take those first few steps. And then when you've got these newer generations of women that are growing up in a system where they fucking have to work because everything's now twice as expensive as it was before, they're not sold on feminism. But they're growing up in a world now where they're like, hey, even though I look pretty, even though I know how to cook, even though I know how to have kids and I'm prepared to raise kids, even though I'm like, you know, I've got all these qualities, I'm happy to be a stay-at-home wife. None of that matters because I still need to work anyway. Because until I find a man who's going to provide for me, I still need to support myself. Now, eventually you're going to find a dude. If you find a dude who's now going to provide for you, you can settle down and you can go and be the housewife. But 9 times out of 10, these girls are going to grow up in a system where they're just pissed off. They're just angry that they need to do that shit when they want the same thing that most men today are saying. Most men are like, I want a stay-at-home wife who's going to have kids for me, who's I can provide for, I can do this. And these girls are waving, holding their hands up. Hey, I want to do that too.
No men say that. I don't know what.
No, there's a lot of face guys today.
I have never met a man who says that. They always say, hey, life's expensive. You better work. Hey, it's expensive. I can't afford this. You better work. That's what men say nowadays. That's what the majority of men say. It's too expensive. I can't afford it. You have to work. That's what they all say. You don't have a choice. So women go.
No, I'm actually, well, the circles that I'm in, a lot of guys, they want a woman who's going to stay at home with the kids.
Not here.
Move to a better place.
But I'm just saying, like, it's just not that common like you think it is. And I'm not saying most men are not high value men. Most men are not. They're just not.
No,
so
I'm not.
A small
obviously,
amount of men who make decent money that can say that.
Obviously, most men aren't high value men. Like, high value men are not common.
To want that, so they just tell themselves that they don't want that, and that's why that's why society is at where it is, because they cannot figure out how to make enough money to make that possible.
Well, no,
so
this is
they don't want it.
This is exactly why I said the first 1 to 2 to 3 steps was laying the groundwork for this failed society where women would buy into feminism. Okay, you needed that first step to say, we're going to give you the vote and we're going to put you in the workplace. Once you've done that, you've justified doubling the cost on everything and saying, hey, now all of you women have to work. It's not we gave you the opportunity of you can work if you want to. As soon as we knew that you were also breadwinners, now we knew that we can jack the price up on everything because you're going to have to be married to afford to live after you move out from your parents' house. Your parents can look after you up until a certain time, but once you're old enough and you can find a dude, now that you're living on your own, everything's twice as expensive. You want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to buy, you want to have food, drink, pay bills. That's all designed for a couple, not for a single person.
Yes, mortgages are based off of 2 incomes, the majority of them.
So it's like feminism was sold under the lie of we're going to give you this option. It's not an option. The moment you've provided it, it became like it's an option. You don't need to get a job, but hey, guess what? Unless you want to live in your parents' house your whole life or with your sister, you know, you're going to be the live-in aunt. If you don't want that, then you're going to have to fucking get a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to find a partner because most of the time you're going to need two jobs if you don't have a partner to be able to afford to pay for all that shit. Now, like I said, the second phase, the third phase, the fourth wave of feminism, all of this extended it to the point where you had subsequent generations of women who grew up in this system that they are not happy with. They don't want to live under. Like, even psychologically, women were not built for the workplace. They're just not. This is why they always get stressed out. And this isn't a slight against women. It's that the workplace, the whole, you know, office spaces, all of this shit, like most of the jobs, which are manual labor jobs as well, most work isn't really something for women to do. This is why men are always still seen as the providers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy doing that shit. Now, even we're in like I don't even know, people count it differently, whichever phase of feminism you want to say we're in.
Mm-hmm.
After all of this time, even though women have been working, men are still called the providers.
Mm-hmm.
So women feel like ultimately the current women that are buying into feminism, the reason why they're drawn into it is not just because the media has polarized men against women and women against men, but it's also this idea of, because of this social dynamic that we have, that men are still viewed as the providers, you have this idea of these women growing up thinking it is just a patriarchy. Like, and it is like this male privilege. Like, why are they called the providers? We also work. Well, all this kind of shit. It's very easy to grow up hateful. And when you grow up hateful and you look at the world around you, especially with the spin that the media keep putting on it to like make women feel set against men, right? To view men as predators, to view the system as a patriarchy, everything's a boys' club. Shit comes easier to men than it is to women. Oh, there's a gender pay gap. All this kind of bullshit. When women hear that growing up, and then they have to go into the workplace, you know, and they're taught now that anything that a guy says to you in a workplace can be construed as, you know, harassment. Like, all of this shit, it just makes them buy into feminism. It's very easy for even an intelligent young woman to fall into the trap of buying into feminism. And, you know, it was one step after another step after another step, very carefully engineered. And yeah, is to just subvert our culture, to do away with the nuclear family, to make women hate men, like to ask for shit like no fault divorce. All of it was just to destabilize families and to subvert our culture.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you want to talk about next week? Any ideas?
I don't know. Chat. Any ideas? Next week's topic?
Yes. Send us some topics in the Discord and we will try to find one. I'm going to talk a little bit about like the science of like the light and how that affects your metabolism, but I need time to research that. So it might not be ready for next weekend. So if there's anything else you guys want us to look into, we will do that.
Hey, 13's in the chat. Nice.
Yeah. Yes. We will talk about, do you want to talk about like health?
Waist size to height ratio. Oh, what, with women?
Yeah, I think women. I don't think he cares about men's. But
See,
yeah.
I like petite girls, which is weird because I'm tall. But and everyone's always like, you should be with taller girls. Why are like the short girls getting tall guys? I don't know. I like petite girls.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, I'm a short chick and I have never dated anyone or nobody has that I don't know, been close to dating has ever been less than 6 feet. But I do have a cap because I'm so short at like 6'4" was my cap when I was dating.
Don't worry, Kat. It never would have worked out between us anyway.
No, I told you about that story about when I went to like on one date to an Italian restaurant with this guy, and he turned out to be like 6'7", and everybody they wouldn't even eat in the whole room. Everybody got quiet and started staring at us. And I've never been so embarrassed in my life. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, I bet he breaks her in half." And it was just like so embarrassing. Like, I do not like attention like that. Like, it was I couldn't do it. He was a very nice kid, but I never saw him again.
That's cool. You're scared. It's fine. I would break you though, Kat. Yeah, I would. I'm sorry.
It's not like a high value thing. It's like tall people like short chicks. Tall dudes like short chicks. I don't know why.
I think it's there was only one tall girl that I was with. She was 6 foot, I think, 6 foot exactly, or 6'1". But she was a model. She was
the only exception.
No. What I mean is she was very, very slim.
Mm-hmm.
She was a model. She was very slim and she was very, very feminine looking. But most of the time, tall girls just look mannish to me. I'm sorry.
That's what Steven says. He doesn't
I think it's because, I think it's because the only other guys that I've ever encountered that were my size was playing basketball and playing rugby. Boxing, because obviously it's like weight categories. Boxing, basketball, and rugby was the only time I ever encountered dudes my size. So whenever I was out and about on the street, my friends like, God, have you ever met somebody that's your size? And I'd be like, yeah. I mean, I don't view myself. I know it sounds weird, but I don't really feel like I'm particularly big. And that's because I grew up always around people my size, my height, or even taller. Mm-hmm. When I played basketball, there was 2 guys that were taller than me. There was one Swedish dude who was 7'2", and there was another guy who was 6'11". And like they were taller. When I played rugby, I think there was maybe one guy who was my height or maybe a bit taller. And there was other guys who, even if they were shorter, they were kind of like more stacked than me. So I always felt average because I played rugby 3 times a week. I played basketball a couple of times a week. I sparred 3 or 4 times a week. So I was always around these people who were my size or bigger. But also, like when I was in college, I also coached basketball and I coached women's rugby. So I saw a lot of these tall women and they were always very kind of masculine women.
Yeah.
So I kind of guess I got put off tall women because of that. Because I just didn't find them attractive. And because I'm sorry, it's like you're giving off constantly a masculine energy. You're very competitive. You're very kind of like, if you've ever seen what women rugby players look like, let's be fair, like bless them, they're not like, they're not really first pick. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just feel like, me personally, I think maybe that's why taller guys go for smaller shapes. And also, like, if you're a big guy and you've got a king size bed, you don't want another fucking tall girl taking up more space.
Yeah, Steven likes that I'm tiny, and he also likes that I don't drink alcohol because I don't spend any money on that. I don't take up a lot of space.
That cheap motherfucker.
He is. Always. He grew up in Israel. Anyways, we will see you guys next time. Thank you for hanging out. And don't drink and don't do the Mary Jane and there's a really cool video you guys should check out called, it's with this guy that I don't like. I don't remember his name. He's like Prince William's friend. He's got like the wide set eyes, like the Candace Owens, but he's like more Destiny's type of dude. I forgot what it is.
What
but
the hell are you talking about, Kat?
I don't remember his name. Damn it. Hold on. Let me look. I feel like, what is his name? Give me a second.
Somebody said in the chat, does London have like an Asian area that will make you feel taller?
Yes.
I whenever I go to Chinatown, there's people there who want to take pictures with me all the time. I didn't know why. And then one of our friends, she said, it's good luck. They feel like, because whenever they'll take a picture, they wanted to kind of like, I think they were rubbing my shoulder or trying to rub my head or something. I don't know. But they're like, it's good luck. It's good luck. They think that you're good luck. I was like, what? Because I'm tall. They're like, yeah. They feel like it's good luck. I'm like, what kind of shit is this? Like,
you're like the Buddha. Instead of rubbing the belly, they rub the top of your head so they get tall.
They were trying to like, I saw this little like 4'10", like 60-year-old Asian woman who's like trying to tiptoe and try and touch her. I was like, what does she want? And like her daughter goes and says, she was wondering if you can come down a little bit. And she was like stroking me. I was like, okay, this is really weird.
Beautiful. Well, it is what it is. I couldn't.
Chinatown's awesome though. Bevo. Oh, Bevo, is that retarded dude with the fake teeth?
Damn.
He looks like some inbred weirdo.
Yeah, the problem is I did not follow the channel, so I can't find it. I can only find it on my television's YouTube over there. But whatever. It's this black dude. He's very like left leaning. He's friends with freaking Prince whatchamacallit. His eyes are too far apart, but he has a really good debates that you guys should watch. And it's with Louise Perry, like the hot older fairy looking woman, and like this obese feminist, and like these two other people, whatever. And it was really, really, really good. I did not get to finish it. I'm going to go finish it later.
I love how you said this obese feminist. Like, is there any other kind?
There's only one.
I don't
He got
count.
it. Okay. Diary of a CEO. Yes.
Yeah. He looks like that kind of whitewashed black dude.
Yes.
Who's a black dude who's trying to be white.
Yes. Okay. So the debate is what casual sex is really doing to women. And this feminist chick makes me want to punch the TV the whole time. Everything she says. Look, just like all feminists, she wants to do whatever she wants with no consequences. She doesn't care if men are suffering because they deserve it. And screw children. So it's like the trifecta.
Yeah. See, you're never going to save these feminists. You're never going to save them. They'll never, ever, ever change. When I say these feminists, I mean the obese ones, the real feminists.
Yeah.
You'll see some feminists where you're like, oh, it's a shame that she's a feminist. She's actually quite hot. Like you might see some like attractive, really fit, nice, beautiful looking feminist girls. Those chicks you can save with a dick. Like you just fuck them once, fuck them good, and they'll be fine. They'll really realize, like they'll fix up. Do you remember that video with that chick that was like, I went out on a date with a dude and he like, yeah. And she was like, she was like, I never, I just stopped being a feminist instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. They just need, I'm sorry, like, yeah, they just need a dick.
Okay, so his name is Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
Bartlett. Anyway, so I'm just going to play the intro so you guys can see, because it's a very interesting discussion. See, this is what I call a traditional debate. This is not like what Andrew Wilson does, yelling at people. This is like a real traditional debate. They don't resort to name calling. They don't laugh at the other person.
Who was the fairy woman that you spoke about?
you'll see. Just see if, when I finish the intro, just tell me if you got which one it is.
The movement didn't unite women, it split women.
I feel totally the
Wait,
opposite.
listen,
Oh my
50%
God.
of young women don't want to have children. They're really preoccupied with making money and materialism.
But we're still looking at a society that is increasingly telling women where they could be better.
But sometimes feminism expects women to be prioritized, and both sexes want the privileges without the responsibilities.
Can I just add, we are producing women and men who are, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. It'll be an interesting discussion.
We're joined by 3 leading and outspoken voices in female societal issues with very different opinions. To unpack the choices,
This chick.
You didn't have to tell me. Yeah, nobody's saving her. Nobody's saving her. The one that's dressed up in all the colorful hippie shit. You can
I love
you can dick fix her. She's okay.
She's
But-
feminist. She's perfect.
She's what?
I love her. That's Louise Perry.
I don't know who that is.
She has a podcast called Mother, Maiden, Matriarch, and it's very good. She talks about these issues, and she's like a fairy princess.
Is she a feminist?
No,
Okay.
you would like her. If she was a little bit younger, because I know you like them a little bit younger still, you'd go for her.
How old is she?
She's older.
How old?
Advice that it's
It's
with better
because
to
of the pill.
Her.
That's why that happened. It's because it used to be that if you were having sex with someone, you were risking pregnancy. And now that's not, I mean, it is still true because actually all contraception fails. And
Is she
something
too
like
old to
half
get
of women in
pregnant?
this country get pregnant didn't mean to or whatever. So
Huh?
Is she too old to get pregnant?
Is she too? She had a baby. She's already had babies.
No, but I'm saying, is she past that age now? I can't really tell from the screen.
She's probably like 45. Actually, let me look it up because let's. read-
Okay. Right. Yeah. Like, I don't know, half a bottle of rum. I'd be in there.
Louise Perry age. Okay. Why won't it say it? Ugh. They don't have her age. How did she get that? Even mine shows my age. This is some bullshit. Oh. She's 35. There's no. Oh my god.
What?
Wow. I am way older than her. Damn.
Wow. Cat's face.
What? What?
Suddenly realizing that she's just broken down, worn out goods.
No, it's just like when I was 35, I was damn fine. Back
Yes.
in my day.
Looking back on history with rose tinted glasses.
Dude, it wasn't rose tinted. I was toit. Everything was good. Yeah, I guess sometimes some people hit menopause quicker than others. So it's a hormone thing. I also have very high estrogen, and estrogen is what keeps your skin looking young. So
when did your estrogen run out?
I still have it. I still have
Oh, okay.
really
All
high
right.
estrogen. So it is what it is. You can thank the mold in my house for that. Yeah. See, she does look older than 35. Even the other chicks agree.
Yeah.
But anyways,
the idea that it's foolproof is not true. But what the pill did when it arrived on the scene in the late 60s was it gave the illusion that sex was consequence free. And it isn't on a physical level, not really. It's less consequential than it was because of the pill, but the physical consequences are still there. But I think just as importantly, it became no less emotionally consequential. Just because you're on the pill or using condoms or whatever, your mind, I'm thinking particularly of women who, as we talked about, bond more quickly, your mind still thinks that this person could well become the father of my child.
okay, you have to listen
You are
to the other
still
chick.
experiencing
pissed.
sex as in the way that sense is extraordinarily important. Like, why? Do you not see the contradiction there?
Autonomy. If I want it, if I want somebody, especially penetrative sex, you're talking about rape, you're talking about penetrative sex.
Oh,
there's nothing worse than
gross.
somebody inside your body violating your actual
Hold on.
insides.
There's another part where she's fighting
Nothing
with
worse
someone
than
else.
That does not mean that women do not have sexual urges
But
that
I
are
never said that.
exciting. No, I know. I'm finished sentence. That was a lot of trouble.
Can you pause it? Can you
That
pause
women
it?
don't have sex.
Okay. The hippie fairy girl looks so much hotter now when you put her next to this thing.
Yes. Yes. No. The fairy girl is adorable. She's, you know, she has a young baby, so they're probably sucking the life out of her, but she's adorable.
And also, by the way, we've got Jessica in the chat making you jealous, Kat.
Yes. No, I'm sure she still looks hot.
She's 25 and looks 18.
Well, when I was
Kat, you're
25,
old.
I looked 11. Thank
Of
you.
course you did. Of course you did. Because that's what you want Steven to feel like, even more of a pedophile.
No, I didn't think about that until later. And then I was like, oh my gosh, he liked me before I even had boobs. That's crazy.
Don't say that. Stop. Steve's my buddy. Stop fucking making him sound weird. You already bled the life out of him, turning gray.
Well, anyways, so guys, you should watch this if you like getting mad.
Oh, look. Jessica's doing the whole thing of no, Kat's gorgeous.
You don't have to lie to me, girl. It's
I love
fine.
it. I love it.
I
The 25-year-old trying to make a middle-aged lady feel better about herself.
Look, I probably look like this chick in the video compared to you, and that is fine. Everything is.
I like how she said it. That's fine. With all the hatred in her heart. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Just enjoy it now before it slips through your fingers and your skin falls.
She said, Kat's way prettier than me. I'm imagining it like, what's that film where you got this like model on the beach that's like, no, you're so pretty. And she just looks like hammered shit. Like, you're so gorgeous. You're totes adorbs. I wish I looked as good as you. I look too young. My skin is too tight and wonderful. Oh God, damn this tight vagina. I wish it was as loose as yours. Yours is amazing. I wish I could walk or down the street and also whistle from under my skirt. So entertaining.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Anyways, on that
We love
note,
you, Jessica. Thanks for providing the entertainment. Carry on slagging off Kat.
anyways, it's fine. Look, you guys, I don't have to be young and hot anymore. I could be old and annoying.
It's okay.
Always
It's
something.
okay, Kat. Don't
Anyway.
worry. We love your old wrinkled bingo wings flopping around in the air.
Whoa. Semperius isn't even here and I have to hear about that shit. Anyways, imagine if I had this bitch's wings. This isn't that bad. Anyways, so we'll see you guys next time. Laters. Thanks for hanging out. And dear God. All right. Bye, guys.